class working alongside us to see what a day in middle school is really like. No phones, no snacks, and lots of math. But we will finish it off with a fantastic barbecue provided by our nutrition services. Our boys and girls soccer team started today in the Rialto Cup tournament. It's looking like a great season for both of them. Our last school-wide dance will be on April 20th. We will rock out the NPR with our anticipation of summer break.
She's still going. Oh, she said bye.
Oh no, you guys clapped.
I thought she was done.
No.
She walked away.
I'm giggly, sorry. Okay. Builders Club is racking up community service events this month, beginning Saturday with working with Kiwanis and the Rialto Fire Department on Drowning Prevention Day at the pool. April 22nd, we will present a water cycle play for 450 little second graders from our feeder schools. On the 22nd of April, we will also take part in Rialto Earth Day, cleaning up around the city. On the 27th, we will travel to the Forum in Inglewood to celebrate their service hours by attending the second annual International We Day concert. With 16,000 students from the LA region, 8th graders will be busy around testing, but by taking pictures by their promotion will be as well as primary class pictures. ASB will also be busy planning the big May events just for them. In 8th grade, formal dance, Six Flags trip, and a promotion ceremony. I look forward to next month's events as well as my last report for RMS. I've already begun my high school transition with picking up a pathway, making the cheer squad, and even purchasing a new backpack. I think I'm ready. Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight.
Next, we have Noor Ali from Kusera Middle School.
Good evening. Good evening, Honorable Board of Education Superintendent Dr. Avila and viewing audience. My name is Nora Ali, and I am Vice President of Kusera Middle School. Some previous events we had was Black History Festival, which was held on February 27th. On March 1st, we had our open house where ASB sold popcorn and lots of other goodies. Kusera also hosted the Music Festival, which was on March 6th through March 10th. Our boys basketball won championship, and our Kusera cheerleading team won second place on March 10th. We also had the 5th grade tour. Some schools who will be attending are Dunn Elementary, Dollahan Elementary, Fitzgerald Elementary, and Cordiac Elementary. On March 17th, we had the band Air Spoken, who came and performed during our lunches. We just had our Breakfast of Champions this past Friday, and the character trait for March was leadership. Our own Kusera ASB students will be performing the water cycle play on April 20th for second graders. Also on April 20th, we have our spring dance. We have CASP testing April 3rd to April 14th. These are all the events that that have taken place and will be taking place in April. Thank you so much for your time.
That's all.
Oh, that's all. Okay.
Let's give them another round of
Yes.
applause. That was really awesome.
Next, we'll have our presentation, award presentation for Outstanding Community Partnership Award. And is Ms. Beth Curtis around? Are you presenting it? It says, oh, it did. Okay. Okay. You're here to support. Excellent. Excellent. So this is the award for our outstanding community partner. And when I read the description in the program, and it said your name, Beth, I was like, okay, Beth is presenting. This is actually somebody I know and I've actually worked with, so I had gotten excited thinking I was going to do it. And then I was like, oh, it says Beth. But I actually do have the pleasure. Tonight we honor a man whose generous contribution towards the Rialto Unified School District has benefited students and staff members profoundly. Mr. Gary Kelly, please come up. You can stand right there. Mr. Kelly is a 24-year retired United States Air Force captain and the executive director for Sunrise Christian Church's Life Development Services in Rialto. Mr. Kelly was born in St. Louis, Missouri. His early military career brought him to San Bernardino, the former Norton Air Force Base, in 1972. He soon moved to Rialto and began to build a house in the city in 1979. Mr. Kelly also worked at San Bernardino Valley College for over 21 years, retiring as the Dean of Applied Technology, Transportation, and Culinary Arts. Mr. Kelly and his wife Lizzie share 5 grown daughters, 17 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. About 3 years ago, Mr. Kelly took the lead for Sunrise Church's Adopt a School program, and they adopted Trapp Elementary School. Through the years, the church leader has assisted with various field trips to Fiesta Village, helped to organize 5th grade promotion ceremonies held at Sunrise Church, and purchased wheelchairs for the students with special needs. The program also donated tricycles and thousands of backpacks to students. We had selected Trapp Elementary School. Would you like to read this? No. Oh, I can read. Okay. I'm going to read it in my Mr. Kelly voice. We had selected Trapp Elementary School because of the proximity. The school is right next to Sunrise Church, but I'm actually looking to expand our program to other deserving schools within the Rialto district. Smiled the 70 years young director. Who put that? Don't put people's age. You know, when you get a certain age and you say, don't tell people's age. I'm at that age. Isn't it the same type of dedication, can-do attitude that led Mr. Kelly to partner with our school district for the strategic plan, which Superintendent Dr. Avila introduced and began to implement just last school year. Mr. Kelly, without any hesitation whatsoever, generously offered the facilities at Sunrise Church as a place for holding our strategic planning meetings, stated RUSD Superintendent Avila. As if this wasn't already a thoughtful gesture, Mr. Kelly was also an active participant in the first phase of the strategic plan. He has a clear and genuine interest in what is beneficial for students in Rialto and brought a fresh and needed perspective to the planning committee. As a community leader, we are grateful for his kindness and his investment. Rialto Unified School District staff members Rhea McIver Gibbs and Beth Curtis were the strategic planning internal facilitators. They wrote, Mr. Kelly has been invaluable in the Rialto Unified School District strategic planning process as a voice of the community. His educational insight and care for Rialto students allowed for a powerful input to our planning team. Sunrise Christian Center provided us a warm and welcoming environment in which to do this important work. And I want to say this is actually when I've already seen you in the community many times, but on the strategic planning committee was when I actually got to sit and talk with you and shared ideas as our team went on, and just being very blessed not only to have the opportunity to do that, to partake in our community partner, the facility and everything, and you handled all of that and made everything run smoothly. So again, we very much thank you from the bottom of our heart. I personally do as well. So, Mr. Kelly, tonight, the Board of Education formally thanks you for all the contributions and generosity that you have shown us. And if we can be so politically incorrect for a second, may God bless you and thank you and your family as well. So, would you like, let's give him a hand. This is our official plaque to you, and we're going to give you a chance to say some words and also to come and have your family come up. So let's stand over here really quickly.
Family.
Michelle has one daughter back here. We got our wife Lizzie. Ness.
Do you want to use the microphone? You want to get the first one? You want to get the
Okay.
Let's get the first picture. Let's come up a little bit.
All right.
Perfect. Finish.
Not the legs. Oh.
Is there anybody in the family that would like to come up with him?
Yeah. Oh,
And then
Michelle?
we'll get one with the board too.
Elizabeth, you're my family, are you? They heard that. They knew it. About next, right? They said you couldn't.
I got it now. I got it.
They didn't know where you're talking about.
Yes, they're gonna come around. Let me get one with family. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. And if I can have the board. Family can sit down. Now you relax. Now we can have the board. Thank you. Oh.
Are you related to Charles Kelly?
We're brothers from different mothers. Yeah, yes, he's our pianist.
And I'm an O'Kelly.
Oh, yeah. Still Irish. All of it.
Okay, real quick, 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, 1, 2, and 3.
And Mr. Keller, we're going to give you an opportunity to have some words. Go ahead.
It's unfortunate you gave me this mic.
I
You know
know,
that,
I
right?
know.
You don't hand over mics to teachers and educators. Yeah, you know. But anyway, I accept this humbly because much like our superintendent, who's a humble man here in this district, nothing could be done without all of his support staff, teachers, administrators, and so forth. Neither could anything that we do at Sunrise Life Development, which that's where I'm a director and one of the board members. You know, and our whole focus and goal is to meet needs, engage minds, touch hearts, and change lives. That's what it's about. And we do that through several programs. And 3 of the programs that we use, one of is the Upward Sports, where we take kids and teach them basketball. We take them on the soccer fields. And it's just not the soccer, the game that they learn. They learn a lot of other disciplines and whatnot in that. And then we have the other program that we Celebrate Recovery. We take people within the community and come in through our 12-step program and help them maybe with drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and those kinds of things. In addition to that, our whole point and plan in this program is to help people identify their needs, their hurts, their habits, and the hang-ups, and to dismiss those in some ways. That's our goal in that program. And the one that I'm directly involved with is the Adopt a School or Release Time, where we have the kids come over once a week on every Friday from Trapp School, which is a pleasure. Did you know it's the best school in the Rialto Unified School District? Yes, it is. But we're going to make the rest of them the best because we're going to get into programs with you as well. But it is a great school, and of course, this is a great district. And shared going through the strategic plan, and one of the things that I saw in that, the genuine concern and compassion of the administrators, the folks that deal with in that program, wanting to make a change, to make a difference for the kids. It almost made me feel like I want to go back to school. You know, I mean, I'm serious about the things that are in this strategic plan and looking at all the things that are going on in this district, the positive things, including the Footsteps to Brilliance. I mean, I'm just really amazed at what's happening here, and I'm looking forward to it. I may have my girls go back to school here in Rialto. All of them did go through schools in Rialto and graduate from Eisenhower High School, all 3. Yes. Yes. But I mean, the Release Time program, again, back to that, having the kids come over once a week and trying to help them develop some skills perhaps we couldn't do in the classroom, and to kind of help with the personality and the changes, and just, we used to have citizenship in schools where we graded kids on. Well, this is the thing that we hope to help and fashion in that. And not to take any more time, but again, I want to thank the pastoral staff at Sunrise, the directors of our board, the Sunrise Life Development. And you can get to look at us at sunriselifedevelopment.org if you want to go online and look at that. Take a moment and do that. And there's some testimonies of some folks up there I think you'd be glad to see. And if any of you are in the area on May 25th, the promotion ceremony, I hope that we'll have it live streaming. If not, come to the Sunrise Church, Riverside and Yala, and see that promotion ceremony. The principal, Mr. Mingus, does an outstanding job with those students there, and it's amazing to me. And I just like the kids that came up here, I said, I wish I could have talked like that when I was their age, you know? I couldn't get a word out of my mouth. The district is producing some outstanding kids, and I'm very proud to contribute a small part, but again, it's just a small part. So I thank all our volunteers from the church, from the technicians that do our graphics, all the way down to the secretaries and not down two either. That's not sounding good. But the secretaries, because they're up there. Without them, we wouldn't make it. But we wouldn't make it with all the support staff that we have there at the church. So thanks again for this. And this is not for me. It's truly for the entire church. And we thank you from the bottom of my heart, Sunrise Church. Thank you.
Okay, and next we'll go into public comments. Comments from the floor at this time. Any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Do we have any?
We do. First, we have Ivy Tillery.
Thank you. Good evening, Board, Superintendent. Recently, a group of Frisbee parents met with the superintendent to express their concern about our principal's perceived forced resignation. Our superintendent told us he could not tell us any details about any employee. The lack of response communicated volumes and left things open to interpretation. My concern would have been appeased with some sort of clarity to the situation. There was none. He also told us that there are things as parents we see at our school sites that he does not, and things that he sees and knows that we do not. Okay? So here's a few things that we see. Principal 1 looked through a student's personal phone and pictures. Principal number 2 had an employee tell her that she received threats of being jumped and did nothing. The employee was jumped and injured. Principal number 3 had a very serious accusation posted on Facebook, which got so many views, yet no statement was released to the parents regarding this, leaving us confused and upset. Again, lack of communication leaves things open to interpretation. These 3 principals still have their jobs. Principal number 4, Mr. O, will no longer be working with Rialto Unified School District after 25 years of outstanding service to his schools, staff, and community. Why? Was it a food fight that happened at a school that could have been prevented if we had sufficient permanent security on staff? Or is the board using the LCAP as a tool to replace or shuffle administrators at their discretion using standardized test scores whose results should be invalid because the computerized tests are adaptive and based on cut scores set so 60 to 70% of students fail? Was our principal set up to fail in some way and then forced to resign? Now, I don't know if this is a coincidence, but at a glance, principals 1, 2, and 3 happen to be Hispanic and in some way or another personal friends of the superintendent. Mr. O is not, which is 100% okay if all principals were held to the same standards. Parents were told by a board member that Mr. O is not a team player. Whose team? That he humiliated students by not letting them walk in a promotional ceremony due to poor grades. But I thought it was every educator's job to hold students accountable for their grades. Mr. O was Team Frisbee, whose presence at our school will be sorely missed. Thank you.
Next, we have Sandra Fragoso.
Good afternoon, Board of Education, Superintendent, and audience. My name is Sandra Fragoso. I am a resident of Rialto and a mother of 3 kids that attend Rialto School District. This is not the first time I stand in front of this podium, and again, for the same reasons. I'm here to ask you to make the right decisions that affect our students directly. The lack of transparency from the board is leading to a growing lack of trust from parents. Despite overwhelming proof, I will still like to believe that a member of the board or superintendent did not instruct a certain group of parents to join our Frisbee parents meeting on Wednesday, March 29, for the purpose of causing a disruption. Parents at Frisbee felt that our superintendent not only allowed this disruption to happen, but actually condoned it. Not only do I personally feel that he has preferences with certain staff, but also with certain parents. We have seen the bias with the staff. How can we be assured that he won't show the same preferential treatment with those parents? And as our leaders, you should unite the community, not divide it. Parents at Frisbee feel that you are doing a disservice by getting rid of such a true source of inspiration to so many people. Mr. Osandawique has been a mentor to staff and students and has done great things for a school. I personally opted out my kids from state testing for so many reasons, which one of them is because I feel the scores are being used at the district's discretion to evaluate teachers and administrators, and that's just not fair. I ask from you, our district leaders, to hold meetings at the school sites at convenient times and make parents aware of any intentions to release or transfer any administrators and to gain community input, even if it's just to hear us out, since our students are the ones directly affected by these changes. Thank you for your time.
Next, we have Lorette Allen.
Good evening, board. My name is Miss Allen. You got to say it like my students do, all one word. I'm here to talk to you about one of our mission statements is a safe and engaging learning environment. Okay. I have loved and educated thousands of students in my 17 years I have taught at Frisbee. 14 of those years I've been teaching in the same classroom. I'm entrusted with the well-being and education of our students, but this year I feel like I'm failing their safety. Tonight, there are many whys that I think need to be answered. Last April, our school had a rat infestation in the B wing. Not only did we have a request to have the carcasses removed and the soil ceiling tiles replaced, I became sick and remained sick until the end of the year. Throughout the summer, I was perfectly healthy. However, I returned to work in August and become instantly sick again. I put in work orders asking for the air ducts and vents to be cleaned. The ducts were dusted in September, although by then I think it was beyond dust. I remained sick with sinus, ear and respiratory infections without relief. My students had and have rashes, coughs, watery eyes, and a hard time breathing in the classroom. Why am I not believed that my classroom is an unhealthy learning environment? For 4 months, I endured this illness, taking an accumulation of 8 different antibiotics, and I'm on 2 inhalers, and I don't have asthma, so I can breathe daily right now. I continue to watch my students suffer, sending them to the nurse as often as needed, hoping that the excessive number of student ailments on the log would reflect some kind of red flag, hoping a parent would come in and say something, demand answers to the poor health of their kids. After numerous testing and doctor's visits, my doctor and a workman's comp doctor stated that it's something that I'm breathing. I put in more work orders because of my toxic environment. Nothing was done. I'm asking you, why? I sent an email to risk management on 12/13/16, basically begging them to come and make my classroom healthy for me and my babies that are in there every day. I also gave them fair warning that if nothing was done, I was going to contact OSHA. Why did I not even get the courtesy of a response? Why is this acceptable? I waited 60 days before I contacted OSHA. I returned in January and I became immediately sick again. We had no heat in my classroom for 9 days. I sent an email on that one. My class was 50 degrees. My babies are shaking with jackets on. It's not acceptable for my classroom, for my babies. Why am I being ignored? Why is this acceptable? On February 7th, after 7 months of trying to improve my working conditions, I contacted OSHA. Why does it take involved outside entity that can cite the district to get anything done? These are my babies. They're with me every day. They deserve more than this. March 9th was the district's deadline to reply to OSHA. After failing to adequately appease OSHA, they knew they were now coming in. Why do we think it's okay to spray a chemical into a building when we can't even spray ants or any kind of air freshener? On March 10th, on March 10th, some kind of chemical came through my vent. I was overcome. The paramedics came. I was sick. I've been out of that room since March 10th. I am better. I don't have ear infections. My voice is almost normal. I'm still out of that classroom. All I ask you is this. My students deserve health. Healthy air, they deserve clean quality air. What are we trying to hide? My babies deserve better than this. All of our babies in Rialto deserve better than this.
Next, we have Raquel Torres.
would have jumped. Good evening, Superintendent Avila, members of the governing board, and members of the community. My name is Raquel Torres, and I am president for the California School Employees Association Rialto Chapter 203. This notice is on behalf of our labor representative, Noah Snyder, who is not able to be present this evening. I want to ensure that CSEA states its intention to bargain reopeners for the 2017-2018 school year. CSEA is intent upon opening 2 articles plus salary and health and welfare benefits, as outlined in the collective bargaining agreement. Those articles and our initial proposals will be forthcoming to be sunshined by the governing board. We appreciate your patience in this matter. Thank you.
So we have Valerie Fragoso.
Dear Superintendent, Board of Education, and audience. My name is Valerie Fragoso and I attend Frisbee Middle School. Sorry. I couldn't be happier to have such an inspirational and positive leader such as Mr. O. He has never stopped inspiring students and leading them to the right path. I was lucky enough to have him as a principal at Frisbee for 3 years attending the school. This year I'll be moving on to 9th grade, but my brother will still be at, he will be going to 7th grade attending Frisbee Middle School. And my hopes are that Frisbee gets a principal that is as dedicated to his staff and his students as Mr. O. He has been the greatest and he will always be. But before I leave, I would like to say, no matter what, Mr. O leaves a legacy there. Thank you for your time.
Next, we have Lenita Edwards.
Good evening, board and community. My name is Lenita Edwards, and I'm a retired law enforcement and marriage family therapist. I am here to speak on the character of the elder of my church and my niece godfather, Mr. Akalana Osanduike, who is the principal of Frisbee Middle School. I have known him for approximately 15 years, and during that time, he has been dedicated and faithful as an educator for 24 years. When I received the news that he was resigning in lieu of termination, I immediately began to question the legal process versus the superintendent salient bias process. According to the FRISC documentation model manual, which is the progressive discipline process, there are 3 elements that should be considered. Positive, which is assisting the employees with changing and improving their behavior and performance rather than punitive measures. Corrective, the supervisor has a responsibility to assist employees in modifying their conduct. And lastly, progressive, which is counsel, warning, and discipline. I pose this question. If he did not receive a warning, discipline, relieved of duty, or arrested, what is the superintendent manipulating or covering up by removing a loved principal and leader of our community? I thank you for your time.
Christina O'Hanley.
Good evening, Superintendent and community. I do not have a paper reading. I'm going to speak from my heart. And I'm very emotional about what everybody's saying here. I'm here for 2 things. One, I haven't seen you guys done nothing to help our parents and our students with ADHD. That's very important to me. And I would like for you guys to do something train our teachers that they can be better acquainted with the students, and our students don't be treated like criminals or put it on the side because they're misbehaving. And it's not misbehaving, it's because sometimes we as a parents don't want to admit that our kids got a problem. Thank God that I see that, I open my eyes that my kid got a problem. By the members of the schools not seeing that, the teachers they went through didn't see it until my son went to Frisbee. Mr. O helped me to see that. Frisbee got a bad record of being a bad school, along with Cole Middle School. I've been here in this San Bernardino County for 32 years. I raised 5 kids already. 5 of them, they got college degree. 1 had his doctor last December. I adopt 3 of my nephews, and I got guardianship and 401, which is 11th grade in Eisenhower. My disappointment is to hear that Mr. O got dismissed. Why? I still don't know the reason. Only I've been hearing gossip and chismes. Okay? But I think, I really truly believe by you dismissing this man, my kid's gonna lose, because I got 2 children coming up to Frisbee Middle School. Over the years, I got great people working with my kids. The ones that were super smart. These other 4 kids, they don't have the same luxury like the other ones. Over my 27 years being in the district, I had a lot of help from everybody. Even now, Mr. O and everybody that is there can help me. One of my girls got learning disabilities. Here's some teachers, they helped me with her. They helped me with my son. And now I have another kid that's coming up next year, and he got the same problems. I don't think I'm gonna get the same help. As a parents, we have to work together. And whatever reason you dismiss Mr. O, I would please ask you to reconsider. Because not only are kids gonna lose, the community is gonna lose. And I'm sorry that I'm taking more time than I should, but I think it's very vital for everybody to know. Everybody that is here, we choose you here to be here. I'm not threatening. I just saying that everybody, when I choose you guys and I vote for you, I knew that you're gonna do something for our community. Please keep doing that. And Mr. Superintendent, when I first met you, I had a lot of confidence, because finally we're gonna have somebody from that grew up like the same way like us. And I do believe that you were gonna do the right thing. And like I said before, in our last meeting, as a community, if your board members over here don't back you up, remember, you got the parents to back you up. Because you're here to serve us, not the board members. And I thank you for your time.
Next, we have Marcos Molina.
Muy buenas noches,
Buenas
señora
noches.
presidenta, señor vicepresidente y miembros de la mesa directiva, señor superintendente Ayala, muy buenas noches, y público en general, muy buenas noches.
Good evening, President, members of the board, superintendent, and viewing audience. Good evening.
El señor Marcos Molina está aquí junto conmigo, somos del mismo grupo y hemos hecho una pequeña trampita para poder tener un poquito más de minutos para poder expresarnos con ustedes. Disculpen ustedes por este inconveniente.
Mr. Marcos is here with me. We belong to the same group, and we've cheated a little bit just to have a little more time with you guys. And please excuse us for this imposition.
Rialto Municipal Soccer League es una organización que es non-profit y que opera aquí en la ciudad de Rialto para todos los niños.
The Rialto Municipal Soccer League is a non-profit organization that operates in Rialto and that benefits all the children in Rialto.
Todas las personas que donamos nuestro tiempo en esta organización somos voluntarios de Rialto School District.
All of the people that donate our time to work with these kids are volunteers here at the district.
Tenemos como fin participar con nuestros niños en los deportes que los niños elijan, sin que tengan algún costo para ello, y cuando hay algún tipo de costo recogemos nuestros parte del dinero para pagar nuestros expenses por medio de actividades.
Our purpose is to, excuse me, sorry. Our purpose is to allow our children to participate in whatever sports they choose to participate without any cost to them. And whenever there are costs that they cannot afford, we provide those costs, those funds through some fundraising of our own.
Disculpen, estoy un poco nervioso. Tanta gente, nunca he hablado delante de tanta gente, pero espero que me sepa comprender. Queremos reconocer a las personas que nos han ayudado a lo largo de muchos años en el distrito a proseguir con este evento.
And excuse me that I'm so nervous. I've never spoken before so many people, but we do want to recognize all those people who have helped us throughout many, many years in this district.
Tenemos a miembros de la mesa directiva que me gustaría reservarlos por favor para el final, y tenemos la presencia, creo, en este momento. Quiero agradecer profundamente al señor Ernie Ayala, a todo su staff principal de la Rialto High School, quien siempre nos ha apoyado en esta clase de deporte para los niños en todas las edades hasta los 17 años.
And so I want to thank Mr. Ernie Ayala, the principal at Rialto High School, who has always helped us throughout the years with our children. And I also have a recognition for the board members, which I'd like to leave till the end.
También tenemos personas como el señor Frank Garza, también de la Rialto High School, el señor Joe Baca Jr., también de la Rialto High School, por supuesto a la señora Mónica Conway de la Crucera Middle School, que por muchos años ella nos ha soportado y nos ha ayudado también.
And the people mentioned who have helped us and supported us as well.
La señora Caroline A. de la Cole Middle School, quien también nos ha ayudado bastante.
Person mentioned who has also helped us quite a lot.
Y a la señora Edith Shu de Facilities, conjuntamente con George Palma, Luis Luján y Cheryl Decker, que trabajan en ese departamento, que han trabajado con nosotros siempre con una sonrisa en la cara y estamos muy agradecidos.
And the people mentioned from the facilities department who have worked with us with a smile on their face always, and to whom we are very grateful.
Tenemos nuestros presentes aquí, y si quiero hacerlo rapidito, por favor, para poder entregar estas preseas a la señora Caroline A. de Cole Middle School. Si no está aquí, nosotros se la haremos llegar al presente. También tenemos a la señora Mónica Conway de Crucera Middle School, que también la vi por aquí. Mónica. A la señora Edith Shu, que es de Facilities, conjuntamente con su staff, el señor George Palma. George Palma, please, you can give it Luis Luján and Cheryl Decker, the four people who are the whole department. Thank you very much for your help.
Before you go, could we get a picture? Could we get a
Side.
picture?
Can you all come back to the front? And,
This recognition is not on behalf of the district, but whenever people from the community or groups from the community want to give their own recognition to our people, we need to recognize that.
And yes, the gentlemen who are, yes.
Mr. Molina and Mr.
And then everything get really closer, because there's a lot of nice words here. Mr. Montez, a little bit closer. And 1, 2, 3. Don't see that gentleman in the back. Hold on. Okay, 1, yeah, there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 1 second. 1 second. Since we're already doing this. One big smiles.
Aprovechando y abusando de su bondad,
And
voy a
again, taking advantage of your generosity,
me gustaría también entregar estas preseas a los miembros de la mesa directiva, a las personas que nos han ayudado todo el tiempo y a las personas que en un futuro nos van a ayudar, porque no solamente hay que reconocer a las personas cuando nos ayudan, sino también cuando tienen ese, ¿cómo se podría decir? Ese ánimo de servirnos a nosotros como comunidad.
and again, I'd like to present this recognition to those people who have helped us in the past, but not just people who have helped us before, but those who might help us in the future, because we shouldn't just recognize those who are helping us, but those who have the willingness and the desire to help us in the future.
Me gustaría empezar por la señora presidenta, la señora Dina Walker, que es presidenta. Okay, give it to Mrs. Dina Walker. Thank you very much, Mrs. Dina Walker. Thank you very much for all your support. My God, I have everything in order and I don't know what's going on right here. Everything's Smith. Oh my God, it's not right here. Okay, so I'm sorry for the order, but I'm going to give it like that. Mrs. Nancy O'Kelly, board member of the school district. I'll pick it up that lady. Mr. Joseph Martinez, our Vice President. You're supposed to be second. Here, give it to him, please. Mr. Edgar Montes, board clerk of the Rialto School District. Edgar Montes, ¿no? Edgar Montes.
Thank you.
Y por supuesto a nuestro nuevo superintendente, al doctor Cuauhtémoc Ávila, y el que diga que no vive la América, pues estamos en problemas. Doctor, muchísimas gracias, doctora. También tenemos al señor Mohamed Islam, quien también estamos reconociéndolo por este trabajo tan arduo con nosotros.
We're also recognizing Dr. Islam for this tireless work that he's doing on our behalf. Please.
Joseph Ayala, board member of the Rialto Unified School District. Mr. Ayala, please, let me give this to you. ¿De qué, señor Ayala? Al contrario, muchas gracias. Y también tengo el reconocimiento para el estudiante que es del board member. It's very hard for me to pronounce his first name. Joan Coulier. Okay, it's right here. So I give it this. Yes. In my English, I just learning English. I want to say thank you so much for all the help, all the support. Do you guys give it to us, give it to our community, because I don't come in and speak with me. I speak for everybody, all the community in Rialto. Thank you so much for all your support. Sure.
Yes, please, the student. That's the most important one. That's the student.
Does he play soccer?
Yeah, bring him in here.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
want to say something only for 30 seconds.
Ándale, ¿qué vas a decir?
Okay, right there.
¿Qué vas a decir? En inglés si quieres.
I just want. My name is Gabriel Mendoza. I just want to tell you that. Thank you for the camp at Rialto High School. We practice on it. We play games. Thank you.
And also, please, I have this recognition to Mr. Frank Garza. He's right here too. So please, Mrs. Mendoza, give it to. Thank you very much.
I wanted to say the best for last, but here I am.
Mr. Garza, please, we gotta get going. Can I get a picture? Please. If you're gonna get a little closer, and I need to see the beautiful awards. And then the student, can I have the student right in the middle, please? Yes, and then you, okay, let me get this. Oh, you're so cute. There you go. Okay, give me a big smile, everybody. 1, 2, 3, one more big smile. And second. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, President.
So our next speaker. Okay, thank
I'm
you.
not sure if this one was the second speaker there, Luis Figueroa,
Yeah. Thought he had added this.
Celia Celaya.
Buenas noches, miembros de la mesa directiva.
Good evening, members of the board,
Presidenta Mrs. Walker,
President Mrs. Walker,
Superintendente Dr. Ávila,
Superintendent Dr. Avila,
audiencia.
and the audience.
Soy Celia Celaya Sarabia
I am Celaya Sarabia,
y coordino el grupo de apoyo para padres de niños especiales.
and I coordinate the Grupo de Amigos Unidos, a group that supports children with special needs.
Y estamos aquí para demostrarle todo nuestro apoyo
And we're here to lend all our support
a nuestra mesa directiva
to our board of directors
y a nuestro superintendente, el Dr. Ávila,
and our superintendent, Dr. Avila,
por su gran trabajo que han hecho en el distrito,
for the great work that they have done in the district,
en todas las áreas,
in all of the areas,
educación especial,
special education,
educación general,
general education,
el task force,
task force,
los talleres de superación que tuvimos el 1 de marzo,
the self-help workshops that we had in March
dirigidos por la señora Consuelo Kirchner.
that were conducted by Ms. Consuelo Kirchner.
Fue excelente y esperamos tener otros más,
They were excellent, and we hope to have some more
pues los necesitamos.
because we need them.
Poco a poco vamos mejorando nuestro distrito
And little by little, we are making our district better,
y eso es lo más importante.
and this is the most important thing.
Aunque aún nos falta mejorar
Even
algunas cosas,
Even though we still have to fix some things,
como por ejemplo que algunos empleados no respetan su tiempo de trabajo.
like for instance, that some employees do not respect their work time.
Nos tocó una vez a los padres ver a unos secretarias en hora de lunch, tomándose 2 horas de lunch en un restaurante.
Some of the parents were able to witness some secretaries taking up to 2 hours for lunch at a particular restaurant.
Algunas secretarias irrespetuosas que en lugar de hacer su trabajo,
Some disrespectful secretaries who, instead of doing their job,
se dedican a instigar contra el distrito,
will rather plot against the district,
poniendo en contra a los padres.
getting the parents to be against the district.
Nosotros les pedimos que nos unamos
We ask that we unite
y trabajemos juntos,
and work together,
que apoyemos a nuestra mesa directiva
that we support our board of directors
y a nuestro superintendente, el doctor Ávila,
and our superintendent, Dr. Avila,
para que nuestro distrito sea el mejor.
so that our district becomes the best.
Juntos todo es posible
Together, everything's possible,
y sabemos que sí se puede,
and we know that we can do it.
porque somos más los que queremos lo mejor para nuestro distrito.
Because those who want the best for the district are the most.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Yolanda and Gabriel Mendoza.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Yolanda Mendoza. Estoy aquí para como soporte de la liga de soccer que tenemos aquí en Rialto.
Good evening. My name is Yolanda Mendoza, and I'm here to support the soccer league that we have here at Rialto.
Lo que siempre venimos, ¿verdad?, a hacer aquí a veces es poner una queja, dar nuestra opinión. En esta ocasión yo quiero agradecer por el apoyo que nos brindan como comunidad y más que nada para los niños, los estudiantes de aquí de Rialto.
We're usually here to present some kind of complaint or give our opinion on some issue, but today we're here to thank you for all the support that you've given us for our children in this soccer league.
Que podemos tener ahora un lugar fijo, que es la Rialto High School. Al señor Ayala le agradezco mucho que nos dé esta oportunidad de usar ese field, y a los miembros del comité aquí que lo permitan, usar, y que podemos hacerlo accesible a los padres, y si tenemos 2 o 3 niños, podemos aún así dejar que nuestros hijos hagan un deporte.
And I want to thank you because now we have a fixed home at Rialto High School, and I want to thank the board and the superintendent, Dr. Avila, because they have made that Rialto High School available to us, and we are able to provide this as a home field for our children. And even though we might have only 2 or 3 children within the district, we're still able to offer this field to the parents and to the children as well.
Pues es todo lo que quiero decir en esta noche, y les agradezco mucho y espero que nos sigan apoyando como comunidad de Rialto. Y si Rialto somos una comunidad y el distrito nos apoya, los papás, nosotros apoyamos a los board members, me gustaría seguir así y que podemos ser una comunidad segura y una comunidad exitosa con el apoyo de los miembros. Muchas gracias.
And that's all I'd like to say, and I want to thank you for all the support, and I want to say that if you support us, we'll continue supporting you, and together, Rialto as a community, if we all support each other and unite, we can be a safe community. That's all. Thank you.
Alexis Davis.
Well, I have two things I want to come up to say. The first thing is I am a student that do have ADHD, and I went to Frisbee Middle School. I went through the program for 3 years. I went through the school for 3 years. There's not enough support system there, as of having teachers knowing what to do, having another person in the classroom to help when we get bored. Like me personally, when I'm done, I get bored and I just start tapping, and I start just to them getting in trouble, being distracted, being disruptive, being all types of names in the book, getting write-ups, getting all this, and it's like they ask me what's wrong, and it's like I'm just bored. There's nothing for me to do. And so I also want to speak about the Common Core. As I was going to Frisbee, teachers were telling me the Common Core is not even against your grade, it's not against anything. So you just take the test, you just take it. And I think a Common Core is not mandatory, meaning we can opt out. Frisbee is not a failing school. Frisbee is not a failing school. It is a school that is progressing and thriving despite that the fact that Frisbee has a different demographics than other schools. Frisbee has a staff and administration that go above and beyond to spot the lack of support that the district is giving. And you said failing school, Frisbee is a failing school. It is not a failing school. If the district feels an administrative can change things, they should put more things in spite of a level with a parent. As of when I say that is when Mr. O getting resigned, we didn't know about it. My brother came home with a paper, and we called the school to ask the school, what is this paper? And the principal that they direct us to was or the administrative that they just direct us to was like, oh, it's nothing, it's about another school out of state. But it was a paper letting us know Mr. O was getting resigned and that he was leaving. And that's not right that we get lied to about a flyer that was sent out to us. So I don't think that it is fair for her. I don't know her name personally, but I don't think that it's fair for her to even be there as of saying and lying and telling us that it was a school that was out of state, meaning, and it was a school that was actually for us. So I'm saying that Frisbee, you guys should at least keep Mr. O there, because me personally, he has been there. He supported me through thick and thin. Even though I got in trouble with my ADHD, even though I did this and I did that, he sat me down and was like, what are you doing? You need to do something. So I talked to my teachers and let them know what's wrong with me, and they have gave me opportunities. Okay, how about an hour, you're in class, and then get out and walk around, calm down, and then come back in. So I think you guys should have more teachers that understand ADHD and understand what we have going on as personal kids, and speak to the kids and let us know and let us tell you what's wrong with us. And I know we're kids and you guys don't want to hear it because you guys are adults, but we do have a mouth and we do want to speak to you, and we do want to tell you what is going on, and we do want to tell you what's wrong with us. So that's what I have to say.
And that's all for items not on the agenda.
Okay. Public comments on the agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Do we have it?
We do. We have Laura Goodlow.
Okay, I'm super nervous and hopefully I don't cry. Let's see. Good evening, Rialto School Board, community members, and district staff. My name is Laura Goodlow. I'm a native of Rialto, a parent of a student at Eisenhower, and also a product of Rialto Unified School District Schools. Okay, this evening I'm going to start my comments with a quote from our beloved activist, Dolores Huerta. When you have a conflict, that means that there are truths that have to be addressed on each side of the conflict. And to resolve that, you have to get people on both sides of the conflict so that there can be dialogue. Tonight, you, the school board members and community, will hear our truths and about one of the donating members of the IE Black grad. Not only is he a donating member, but a keynote speaker at this year's IE Black graduation, Mr. Akinlana Osondonwike. Truth. Mr. O has worked for RUSD for 25 years. Until this school year, he has had no write-ups or disciplinary action. Mr. O is an invaluable member of Frisbee's community to our staff and students. If at any time there were concerns about incidents happening at our school, where was our educational process from district board members and the superintendent? Does the school district and board members not find value in 25 years of exemplary service? Truth. Not one member of the school board has been to our campus this school year to see our school staff in action. Instead, our school has been ignored and forgotten, and Mr. O has been removed from our campus. Truth. The day after he was given his pink slip, Mr. O humbly accepted a monetary award of $1,500. During his acceptance speech, he thanked RUSD, not himself, but the district. Truth. Since being a principal at Frisbee Middle School, he has implemented several programs that have impacted our students. For example, WEB, PTO, PK, Shades of Blue, just to name a few. As well as starting programs for our school, Mr. O has been an integral part of the widespread success of other programs on our campus, such as Schoolwide Avid, Catapult, and Think Together. Mr. O was also an integral part of several programs that have taken place on our campus. For example, our school's 50th anniversary celebration, as well as our career day, which has spearheaded other schools to implement at their schools. My question to the school board this evening is, do you not value the students and staff at Frisbee Middle School, or are there other agendas that the school board has?
Ron Fletcher.
Good evening, President Walker and board and Dr. Avila. What I have seems to be kind of, after listening about Mr. O and who I've known Mr. O, I can't believe that he's been let go, but I will gladly wait and find out what's going on. What I came up with tonight is HA, the Black Let me read it, because I get nervous getting up here. Let me get the right page here. HA, approve an agreement with the National Black Grads for the registration costs for 200 graduating African American seniors. I have been calling around and trying to find out more about that, because I thought, wow, if Rialto's doing this, maybe San Bernardino could also do it. So I was trying to find out information for them. You have a Jennifer, I don't know her last name. She gave me a lot of information on it. But you know, I've been reading around, and the only problem that I have with this is, out of this newspaper here, it tells me that the event is open with $15 donation. Well, you have 200 students going, 15 times 200 is only 3,000, yet you're putting in 9,000. So I'm kind of curious, are you renting limos for them to ride in? I think it's a great idea that you are honoring the African American students at this, and I would really like to find out more about it. I understand on Saturday, April the 1st, they had the scholarships. You had 7 students in Rialto to get it. They had 7 students in San Bernardino get it. I'm all for scholarships. Being a parent of 8 kids, I know how much a scholarship's needed, and it is really great. But I was coming up to find out more about it. Why are we, is the 200 every African American student that's graduating? I don't know. You don't either.
It is for those who participate. Yes, it is for those who are likely to participate in the event. So the amount is to cover the maximum possible number of students who do partake in the event.
It's 200 students at $45 each, not 15. The $45 includes entrance to the 2017 Inland Empire Black Graduation Recognition Ceremony, which you said was $15.
Yeah, well, that's according to this paper.
Yeah, that's just for the admission. It also covers the African Kente cloth stole. It also covers the MBG certificate of participation. It also covers the opportunity to apply for the NBG scholarship, and it includes a 1-hour interactive workshop option of Show Me the Money scholarship presentation, or I got in, now what, next steps and advice for freshman year presentation, and that's where the $45 times 200 is $9,000.
That's correct. I can do the math too. Thank you for explaining that to me. Now, my final question is this: how many of you board members are going to be there to support our students?
I'm gonna try.
That's all.
Tobin Brinker.
Pardon me, I have to put my glasses on. So I'm here this evening to speak about the Footsteps to Freedom program as a starting point. I had the great honor to be a part of that program a few years ago, and I have to tell you as a teacher, it's life-changing. I got to walk in the steps of runaway slaves on the Underground Railroad, and it is one of the most powerful things I've ever done. As a teaching tool, the idea of stepping into someone else's shoes and being able to see through their eyes, when you can do that, you can change lives. Tonight, I'm going to ask you to try for a moment to put yourself in the shoes of some of the people who came here to speak this evening. One of the parents who spoke was Ms. Fragoso. She's a PTO parent at Frisbee Middle School, and she told you about her frustrations at our school. You also heard from Ms. Tillery, another PTO parent. These are involved parents on our campus, and I hope you were listening very carefully to what they said. They feel like they're not being supported by this district. They feel like they're not being communicated with in a way that listens to them, not just speaks at them, but listens to them and takes their opinions seriously. These are involved parents. They have kids that are working hard in our schools, and we're doing everything we can to support them. Tonight, you also heard from numerous teachers. You heard from Miss Allen and Miss Ramirez and Miss Goodlow. Miss Allen talked about the health issues in her classroom. If what she said did not disturb you tonight, then there's something wrong with you. You need to be able to put yourself in her shoes. Months of being in a classroom, being sick, watching her students get sick, complaining over and over again, following the processes we've been told to follow and being essentially ignored. We need resolution to these issues. This is not something that can wait. It needs to be taken seriously at the highest levels. That's why we're here. We need people to find out, is it the air conditioning? Is there mold in the carpet? Is there something in the wall? We need every avenue to be explored. She's not in that room right now, and her health is doing much better. There's a lot of anger and frustration by the teachers at Frisbee. You need to understand that. I want to leave you with some solutions too, and I hope, if you don't mind, if I go a little bit over, because I think this is the important piece for you. You heard parents tonight talking about opting their kids out of testing. We want our kids to test, but I think that if you want those parents to test, you're going to have to do some things to show them that you're listening and that you get it. So I think the first thing that they want, and this is what I'm hearing from them, they want a new board policy that requires parent input before you move an administrator. So you have deadlines. The state tells you got to release people by March 15th. You got to let them know. So in February sometime, you need to start having meetings at school sites where you think that you might be making changes. And I'm not talking about, oh, this is a good principal, bad principal, anything like that. I'm talking about, we feel that with the personnel we have, we need to adjust. And the parents need to have a say in that. They need to understand what your thinking is and why you would want to move a principal from this place to that place. They need a voice to be heard, and they need a policy that backs that up. The second one, and I think this is one you can, I hope, act on this evening, okay? Frisbee's going to get a new principal. We've accepted that. We understand. Mr. O is leaving. We're sad about it. We're heartbroken about it, but we get it. So here's what we want from you. We want parents and we want teachers to be on the interview panel for our new principal. In fact, I sent out an email. I sent out an email to my colleagues at Frisbee Middle School telling them that I was going to come here tonight and ask for that. And I asked them to give me questions that they would like to have to do an interview, to put on the interview. And I know you have to have those questions in advance so that they're given to all candidates. We're ready. If you pick a teacher, if you pick a parent, you go to our PTO and you say, hey, talk with your parents and what questions would you want to ask? They can get you questions. And then let's pick our people and let's make it happen. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little selfish here. I'd like to be the teacher that's on that interview panel. I would, okay? If you choose somebody else, I understand, but I'd like to be that person. I've been at Frisbee for 17 years. I've been there through 5 principals. I literally wrote the book on Frisbee Middle School for our 50th anniversary, okay? Thank you. My final thoughts. I'd like you to see things through my eyes. As I just said, I wrote the book on Frisbee. I've been there through 5 principals. Mr. O is the cream of the crop. He is the best of the best. And you made a mistake. I'm not saying this is a judgment. You made a mistake. And you now have to go the extra mile to earn back our respect, to earn back a place in our hearts. Because you let a man walk out the door that has raised that school up. And if you had been there through the years and the things that we have been through, you would know that. This is a good man with a great heart who is a true inspirational leader. You made a mistake. I hope you see that through my eyes. I hope you internalize it, and I hope you're listening, because we need you. We need your leadership. We need your help. Thank you.
Michelle Sanchez.
Good evening, Board of Education and listening audience and everyone else that's here. You haven't seen me for a while, and maybe you're thankful, maybe you're not. But that doesn't mean I'm not paying attention to what's going on around here. Tonight, I want to talk to you about the resolution reference K81 about regarding the interfund borrowing. There is only one exception to this interfund borrowing, and it's the building fund. And I've been assured that the bond money is in the building fund, but I've seen other items on the agenda that items are being paid for out of the bond fund. So I want to make sure that there is no money borrowed from the bond to cover expenses for the school district. They've borrowed from the bond before and it was repaid. However, remember where we've come from with this bond money, and don't forget what our students deserve. They've been put off long enough, and I don't want to see any of our contractors not get paid or anything that needs to be done through facilities for Eisenhower with this bond get put off because we borrowed from it and we haven't reimbursed it yet. It's very important to me, and that bond was sold to this community based on the fact that Eisenhower was going to get what it deserved after over 50 years in existence. And as a former graduate of Eisenhower, and 4 students who graduated from Eisenhower, and also one who went to Frisbee Middle School many years ago, when it was 6th, 7th through 9th grade, I would be remiss not to speak about my involvement with Mr. O as an administrator where I work and tell you that I'm in agreement with these people. He was exemplary in every way and a very supportive administrator to me. And I think that he deserves a second chance. So thank you for your time. And about that bond, make sure, I think this needs to be rewritten to include, that's how I would like to see it happen, that this be rewritten to include also that the bond fund is exempt from interfund borrowing. So thank you for your time tonight.
Russell Silva.
Good evening, Board of Education Superintendent and viewing audience. I'm here to talk on several issues. One of them is H14. It appears as I was reading it that we're going to amend the contract for the architect services, but they're amending it based on a calculated fee on a percentage of the final cost of the project. Now, I don't understand why that is the way it is, because the project could continue to increase in cost and have nothing to do with the architect doing any work. But yet he's going to get a benefit by being paid more money. It's approximately 10%. I don't understand why that's happening. And we have another contract coming up in H17 where, again, the architect is going to be paid on a percentage of the value of the contract. The initial cost is based on the preliminary cost because they haven't started yet. But I'm wondering, are they going to do the same thing with them? If the costs continue to go up and have nothing to do with the architect doing any work whatsoever, then why should he benefit from that cost? I don't think it's fair use of public funds to be giving money away for work that's not being performed. I think that there should have been a schedule established ahead of time in his contract with an hourly rate, so that if he did extra work, he could get paid the extra money based on the hourly rate. And then I have another issue with item H21 on the agenda. Might not be a big issue, but I wanted to bring it up anyway. When they do the HVAC units at Eisenhower High School, they're going to move the chiller unit from Eisenhower over here to this building to allow it to have better efficiency. I understand that chillers provide better efficiency over HVAC units, but how old is that unit? And is it serviced? And is it going to be functioning at a higher percentage rate? I don't need it to be functioning at 100% because it may be older, but it should at least be functioning at a level that is going to save the district money instead of cost the district money in the long term, because we'll have to keep repairing it. So with that in mind, why are we even going to pay to have someone do design work to install it if we don't even know the unit is functioning? Thank you.
Linda Silva.
Good evening, Board, and Dr. Avila and everyone else. I'm here tonight as an employee that still has a passion for the classified staff of our district. And I saw that in item H16.1, which is an approval to purchase information technology goods and services. The problem I have with this, I understand the savings, I understand the money that can be saved by going on the piggybacking on other people's purchase contracts and all of that. I completely understand that. What I don't understand is the word services. What are those services that we're piggybacking for when we already have staff that can perform services on information technology
I'm sorry, what item was that?
H16.1. It doesn't really define what they're going to be doing.
Question.
And I just would,
So you want to make sure it's not contracting out?
I want to make sure it's not contracting out whenever it is used. Because this is just an amount for the contract to be able to get at lower prices, I understand. But I want to make sure that when we do business with this agency, that we aren't contracting out services. That's all I have. Thank you.
Excellent point.
We have Michelle Ramirez.
Michelle Ramirez from Frisbee Middle School. Teachers on their first day are told to come in tough. They're told, don't become your students' friends, be firm, consistent with your rules, and make sure that you follow through consistently with your consequences. This builds respect with the students. The next most important piece of advice given to an educators is to know your kids and to build relationships, because this is what builds loyalty with your kids. And these two actions, you become the best teacher ever. But then they get comfortable. They let a few of their favorite students come and eat lunch in the class. They punish a couple kids for breaking a class rule, but let others slide. They send a couple annoying kids for timeout, but not the most annoying one because she helps in the classroom. They hear bad things about one of their students, and they constantly yell at them, ignore them, or just transfer them to another class. Naturally, they lose their kids' respect. They lose their kids' loyalty. Now they have chaos and a rough rest of the year. And this is a true scenario in a teacher's world. However, this is my story about you, Dr. Avila. You had the opportunity to be the best teacher ever. We were eager to follow and stand proud in the midst of positive change and strong leadership. We were very hungry for it. We believed in it. We thought this is what was going to happen when you arrived. There was not supposed to be favoritism among BFF employees. There was not supposed to be favoritism among BFF parents. There was not supposed to be spies and complaints, taking their word as law, resulting in disciplinary action or the release of dedicated administrators. There was not supposed to be silence as a response to the needs of the school sites. There was supposed to be strong relationships, support, and accountability. There was supposed to be set policies and procedures that would be adhered to for everyone, and there was supposed to be a sense of being valued. There was supposed to be a quick and caring response to the needs of school sites, and there were supposed to be consistent procedures and true evaluation when releasing employees. So this letdown has been immense. Right now, we are in desperate need of some consistency to policies that may or may not already exist. Consistency and fairness is what earns respect. All employees, parents, and students need to be held equally accountable, and this needs to include district personnel, superintendent, and board members. We need a handbook, and this handbook needs to be titled the Rialto Unified School District Board Member, Superintendent, Administrator, Teacher, Parent, and Student Handbook. It needs to be a living, breathing document of policies and procedures that everyone understands, follows, and supports. Transparency, follow-through, consistency. This is what it takes to make us feel supported and respected. And your job is to support the sites, the parents, especially our students, but everybody equally. No more 007 agent info, no more secret parent meetings with board members, no more hidden or personal agenda, no more getting rid or pushing out highly qualified and dedicated employees, no more ignoring sites that aren't run by your BFF, and no more lies. This is what we're asking for, a legitimate way for everyone to hold everyone accountable. All this that you have here tonight, this is not just a one-time stand at a board meeting. This is only the beginning. We are seeking change and people who will help us make our sites thrive, not stand in our way and create obstacles. Thank you.
That's all we have.
Next, we'll have comments from Association Executive Board members, Rialto Education Association, REA.
Good evening, Dr. Avila, school board members, viewing audience, and everyone here. My name is Lisa Lindberg, president of the Rialto Education Association. I do not intend to speak about Frisbee tonight. One of the union creeds is, do not do for members what they can do for themselves, and I believe they have voiced their concerns and did a fine job of it, and I'm proud of them. So I'll leave it at that. I do have two requests. I made this one request last year. We still have a substitute shortage, and last I checked, we have about 21 teachers retiring, and there'll probably be more. And if you could please apply for that waiver again through CalSTRS to get them subbing right away in August instead of waiting till after Christmas. I know you had a few come back last year. There are a couple who are moving out of state. Someone's moving home to Georgia, someone's moving to Vegas, but many of them are staying here, and I'm sure they'd like to sub for our district right away. And the second request is, I know you were presented about the blended science curriculum that Rialto will be doing in the future. And a lot of our teachers are not credentialed in all of those specific science classes that they're going to be teaching. And I know you're going to offer classes for them to brush up. But what I'm requesting is that perhaps you pay for the tests that they'll need to take, because they'll need to take a test in each of those subject areas. And if you could come up with the funding to cover that for them. You've got some veteran teachers in our district who've been doing a lot of great things for you for years. I'm not sure how much the test is, but I'm sure Mr. Muhammad or Mr. Muhammad Islam will work that out for you. But if you could do that for them, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Next, we'll have the comments from California School Employees Association, CSEA.
I believe she
Still
spoke
here?
already, Raquel.
Okay. Then we'll go to Communication Workers of America, CWA.
Good evening, board again. Ron Fletcher, Area Vice President for CWA Substitutes. And I don't think I've ever come up here where I'm willing to agree with the teachers president so much, but you do need good substitutes. And what better substitutes can you have than the teachers who retired and who love the children? I really didn't have too much to say until she said her thing. And by the way, you want good substitutes, you got to train them. So don't forget that. If you're going to train your teachers in the sciences, at least find out some kind of a program to where the substitutes can become up to date on it. I come up here to rib you a little bit about putting on the Ritz again. I've already bought my VIP ticket. And from what I understand, you guys have not come across yet. So I expect to see every one of you there. And last year you guys outbid me. I hope to make a little difference this year, because in the first year I got a lot of crochet and knitting, stuff like that. And I understand the Superintendent Avila has created quite a basket, and I'm looking forward to hearing about it. You going to be quiet on it right now? Or you want to?
It's coming up on my announcements.
All right, I'll listen to it. Thank you.
Next, we have comments from Rialto School Managers Association, RSMA. Is there anyone? No? Okay. Then we'll go to comments from the superintendent.
Thank you, President Walker, and welcome to April, Asperger's Autism and ADHD Awareness Month. And although oftentimes we want to build on our similarities in order to that are so prevalent to us, to recognize our children's differences so we can understand and respect the diagnosis and needs. Also, congratulations are in order for the following: Felicia Correa, a senior at Carter High School who was selected as a national winner after scoring in the 98th percentile on the Level 4 2017 National German Exam for high school students. Sponsored by the American Association of Teachers of German, over 20,000 students participated in the program, and after qualifying with a high score on the National German Exam, she submitted responses to several short essays comprised questions in English, German, English, and was then interviewed by a committee comprised of high school teachers and college professors teaching German. Thank you to the Board of Education, who will formally honor Felicia and her German teacher, Ms. Denise Martinez, at our next board meeting on April the 17th. Also, congratulations to Carter High School's co-valedictorians, Anthony Delgadillo and Jimmy Lira, and salutatorian Jordan DeGiglia. Congrats for your inspiring achievements. And also, I want to thank all of the schools who up to this point have had extreme participation in our literacy, math, and STEAM nights. Literacy, math, and STEAM continues to shine throughout the district. Thank you for doing all these activities for our kids and our parents. Also, be aware that UCR is hosting a camp for 40 students, 10 of who will be Rialto Unified School District students from high school. Current ninth graders transitioning to high school who want to explore a career in the medical field. The district is looking forward to identify those kids from each of our 3 comprehensive high schools and cover their expenses for the 1-week summer camp to initiate their transition into the medical field. So I do want to thank the staff coordinating this event, this program at UCR, and I look forward to meeting with those kids before they head off to their summer camp in July. Also, I want to thank Ms. Susan Dix, teacher at Kelly Elementary School, Ray Delgado, our central office staff, representatives from Viola, and our very own Brian Montes for assisting with the mayor's water challenge this past week at Kelly Elementary School. Our board president, Dina Walker, and board clerk, Mr. Montes, were also there to support our students in awareness to conserve water here in our community. I also want to congratulate Lina Montes, who will be recognized by Hispanic Lifestyle Television and Magazine with one of the awards for the Influential Latinas of the Year. The event is tomorrow, and I look forward to joining her in her acknowledgement. A couple of upcoming events. Middle school principal of the Armando Urtiega and Leonard Buckner will be honored by AXA next week for being administrators of the year in their respective assignments. And also the Saturday, April 22nd, the county's largest student gala putting on the Ritz. Tickets are in order, so please contact Saida Jaffrey for your tickets. They go really quick, and this year we are happy to announce that thanks to Bradford Portraits, exclusively located in New York, Palm Beach, and Costa Mesa, for helping secure the largest silent action donation in the 13-year history of the Ritz. I do want to thank them publicly because they are watching at this point in time from New York, and I don't want to give the donation back. And the donation is for an auction of a $5,000 worth certificate for Bradford Portraits.
Beautiful.
That will be starting with a very reasonable amount. So the big winner gets $5,000 worth of the portrait thanks to Bradford Portraits. And also on April the 25th, we are kicking off our national press conference for Footsteps to Brilliance. We are extremely excited to showcase what is to come for our kids in our district and the community. This literacy initiative will be held at Dr. Ernest Garcia Elementary School. For more information, please contact Jasmine Valenzuela. And our RUSD alumni spotlight comes from Eisenhower High School. I want to highlight Dr. Robert Pedas, Dr. Padas graduated from Eisenhower High School in 1988 as a standout student athlete with a 3-year letter in soccer. Dr. Padas earned his bachelor's degree from Cal State San Bernardino and later his PhD in economics from UC Riverside in 1999. He is currently a professor at Scripps College. The Rialto Unified School District is very proud of your success, Dr. Padas. We wish you the best of luck. And that is all.
Thank you. Next, we'll have comments from our board member, Nancy O'Kelly.
Okay, well, first of all, happy spring. I hope everybody's been enjoying the change in weather. It felt pretty nice. March was a busy month, and I attended a lot of exciting events that I want to share with you because, you know, we just do a lot of wonderful things in this district at each of our schools. I participated in the Read Across America Day by reading Dr. Seuss books to several classes at Myers Elementary School. The kids were absolutely wonderful, and it became very interactive where we really made a fun event out of it. And that same evening, I attended the Family Literacy Night at Rialto High School. They had several stations set up in and around the library, including poetry reading. They had a scavenger hunt going on, a vocab.com station, so parents could practice what their kids do on the program vocab.com, and a book walk where participants could win books. Rialto High ranks 2nd in the state and 3rd in the nation on the vocab.com program. So I want to encourage our other schools, all of you have, or most of you have this program, use it. It's magnificent. It builds their vocabulary, and I was very impressed by what I saw. I attended the Dollahan Elementary School's Leadership Day and was extremely impressed. They have the program The Leader in Me, which is based on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And I tell you, every child there displayed those habits. They were respectful, they were polite, they were professional in their presentations to us and whatever. The classrooms looked great. They were very motivating, and they all reflected there's just a school-wide, between the staff and the students, belief in this program. And I really admire that. It's going over very well. For the 2nd year in a row, I was a panel member for the Student Advisory Panel Final Presentations to the Community. This is based on the Community Vital Signs San Bernardino County Community Transformation Plan. And what they do, that this year we had over 150 kids participating. This is put on through the County Office of Education. And they from high schools all over San Bernardino County. And the students are put into teams, and they're put with different schools. So they're working with kids they don't know and whatever, and that makes it very exciting. They're networking, they're making new relationships. But each team identifies a problem in our community or a concern, and they tackle that concern. They do research, they develop a presentation, and they put on possible, probable solutions. I tell you what, this is the 2nd year in a row that those students have knocked my socks off with what they have come up with and the powerful suggestions that they have made. I'm very impressed. This is one of the most fun things I do every year. It happens every year, like in March, and I look forward to it again next year. I'm going to follow up with some of the students. Rialto was well represented. We had over 20 students participating, and they did just a phenomenal job. And I wanted to say, if the kids are the future of this country, and from what I saw that day, our future is in good hands. And lastly, I attended the talent show at Eisenhower High School, and I was very impressed by the talent that I saw. Some of it not quite so good, but a lot of it really, really good. And it was just a fun time. They talked me into being a judge, so that made it even more fun. But we have so much hidden talent, academic talent, artistic talent, athletic talent. We want to bring out every bit of our kids' talents, and things like this just excite me. So thank you for listening.
Next, we'll have comments from Board Member Ayala.
Well, thank you, President Walker. Hope everybody enjoyed their time off and were productive and got to do the things that maybe ordinarily you don't get a chance to do. I thought I'd start with that. You know, I was listening to a lot of commentary tonight, and it's kind of like our report card, you know, and it's not comfortable sometimes when we hear things that you know, maybe aren't going the way we want them to go, and we want things to go well. We want you to be happy. We want you to feel that you're being supported. And the feeling I got tonight was that we need to look at ourselves and perhaps make a few changes. And you know, one of the things I heard was the parent input before changes. And I got to thinking, where have I heard that before? And I heard that about 6 years ago at a conference with about 500 California board members and many, many superintendents, and the word was told to us, permission. Permission. And I was listening, and you know, they recommended that in a district, in a public entity, that you consult your constituents, you consult the people that live in that community, you share with them, you disclose, you let them know what's going on, and then get their permission before you move forward. Now, I understand that. I understand that. And then I heard tonight, you know, the comment about the Dolores Huerta. You have two sides to every situation, and you try to get the truths from each side so that you can resolve the conflict. In today's world, it's not easy because one side has a litigator, they have an attorney, and the other side may move to take away resources from the entity. So you sit there and you go, my gosh, can't we just have communication? Can't we explain ourselves? And the attorney says, you explain yourself and you're gonna cost your district X number more dollars. That's difficult. That's what we have to deal with in today's world. So then, to kind of summarize what we're saying here is then what do? Well, you got to list your priorities. And what are your priorities? We all know what they are. They're our children. All you got to do is visit the kids in the school. They latch on to you. Trust me, everybody at this dais right here cares about this community. They wouldn't be here. They care about the children. But they not only just care about the children, they care about the staff, they care about the parents. We're all into this together. So when somebody says, we need help with our children who are having a difficulty communicating, and you have a child that says, this is what we need done, we're not arguing. We're not here to fight you. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to learn tonight, to continue to be reminded that we need to continue to do more listening, and most of all, I want to say that if we've offended somebody somehow, we're sorry, but just give us time to correct these things. I'm confident that the people I'm working with here and our superintendent will correct these wrongs. So anyway, please, when you go tonight and you go home and you rest assured that there will be corrections that will take care of the priorities, which is our children, our community, and our staff. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share a few words with you.
Next, we'll have comments from our clerk, Montez.
Thank you, Board President, Ms. Walker. Well, first I'd like to say good evening and welcome everybody here tonight. Buenas noches a todos. Buenas noches. Kwali Yowali, Maganda Gabi, Anyway, I want to just say that I wanted to first thank the Rialto Wolves Soccer Academy and everybody from the Rialto Wolves Soccer Academy who came and gave this special recognition to the board and the superintendent for supporting the soccer league here in this community. A lot of our fields, if you guys drive around on the weekdays in the evenings and on Sunday mornings, sometimes on Saturdays, there's games at a number of our schools in the fields. And many kids, many children from this community, and even, believe it or not, from other communities come and play in these fields and get some good exercise and some good sport and discipline there. I want to also congratulate Mr. Principal Urtiaga and Mr. Leonard Buckner for their recognition from AXA. I think it's great. We should really put in the spotlight whenever any of our people here are recognized from anyone. I want to also just give a thanks to our mayor, Miss Deborah Robertson, and a shout out to her and all of the people at the city who are working hard with their water service provider to increase the awareness in our community regarding saving water, teaching the children and asking the children to take a pledge, asking the community to take a pledge to really conserve water. And me and Ms. Walker were there at the event last week at Cali to support not only the city but our district in those efforts. And I want to just reiterate some of the things that we mentioned there regarding water conservation. Moving forward, we really can't continue to waste water, watering lawns and areas where no one sits on them, no one walks on them. We just look at it and we cut it and continue to feed it water just to cut it and throw it away. The grass is not producing food, and as far as I'm concerned, if we're not using water to grow food, or if we're not using water for lawn that's being used by the children or by anyone, then we should rip it out and install some water-wise either planting or turf to save not only the district money that can be used for other resources, but also to save water. And I know that staff is looking into some of those options, and I want to commend them for all the work they've done thus far, installing water-wise sprinklers, smart sprinklers, and whatnot. I want to say that I'm really proud of all of the work that's being done, building-wise and construction-wise around the district. If you drive around, if you work here, if you're part of this community, and even, or if you come in from outside communities, surrounding communities, you drive around and you see all of this construction going up, all these solar panels going up, shading structures at many of our schools. You see all of the tractors at Eisenhower, bulldozering that very old field, and also working on constructing that new theater and performing arts building there. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time in work, and I'm very proud of this board, and I'm very proud of this leadership, and everyone past and present that has contributed their grain of sand to that manifestation, because there was times where it seemed like a very, very long distance away that these projects and these improvements would actually be happening. And so thank you to everybody involved with that, past and present, and also to the people of this community who approved those types of projects a number of years back and are continuing to support that. I want to just comment that I believe a student came and mentioned that she felt that we did not want to hear from the students or from the adolescents, and that's not true. We want to hear from all people, all ages, and I'm very proud of the students that spoke on behalf of DSAC. Also proud of the students who spoke to voice their concerns and their comments in regards to what they spoke about. I've said this before, and I'll continue to say and advocate for it. Public speaking for our children is very important. Not anybody can speak in front of a crowd. Not anybody can stand up and speak at all. And for children to engage in that civil service, for children to engage in that in public, is a good sign. And I encourage our schools and our district to really focus on building up good public speakers and building up students' confidence in speaking. And for any adults out there who struggle with it, because we all do in one way or another, some more than others, we should help each other, support each other with that. So I want to thank those students who spoke, and please continue to come and voice your concerns. And for our staff members who have came and shared their concerns and voiced their concerns, we here at the board, here on the board, and I believe, and I can only speak for myself. I can only honestly speak for myself, but I do believe that everyone on this board sincerely cares about not just the people in this community, but also the people who live in other communities who serve this community, which includes a little more than half of our staff. But the people who serve this community, the people who live in this community, and the people who we are serving by educating this community, all have a part in this district, and all have a part in the cohesiveness of this community. To say that we don't care about any particular group of people or any particular of anyone in regards to this community or to this district is really a huge understatement. I can honestly say that I believe everyone here greatly cares, including our superintendent and the leadership staff here at this district, about everyone. We are not at liberty to speak about employee matters, employee issues, past or present. It's a confidentiality clause. It's a right that is afforded to all employees of this district, classified, certificated, any employee. It's your right, it's their right to have that protection of confidentiality. We are not at liberty to discuss, to share, to conversate, to give opinions, to make any type of insinuations or anything in regards to any matter that is protected by confidentiality. Somebody earlier said there's two sides to every story, quoted Dolores Huerta. We can't, when it comes to confidentiality, we can't give you that side. We can't tell you our side or the superintendent's side or anybody's side, not even the employee side. We're not at that, we don't have that liberty. All we can say is that we understand your frustration, we understand your concerns, we appreciate the love and the passion that you have for your school, for your leadership, for the people you love and care about and have worked with for so many years. We also respect all of the current people and past people and the future people that come to this community, to this district, to serve this community, to help us, stand by us, and stand in front of us and help us move this community forward. Currently, I've been here 6 years, and like I said, I can only speak for myself. There's been changes, people come and people go, board members come, board members go, superintendents come, superintendents go. The point is that nobody that I know of will be here forever. Now, whatever the reasons for that being, no one is at liberty to discuss that. No one is at liberty to discuss that. We just can't do that. It would be unbecoming of a board or of a superintendent to disclose any information regarding any matter, regarding any employee. So I just wanted to make that clear, and we want you guys to know that we feel your pain, we feel your hurt. We can hear it in your voice. We can read it in your body language, and all we can say is that we do sincerely care, and we hope that someday we can heal, and we can continue to move forward. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Next, we'll hear from Vice President Martinez.
Thank you, President Walker. You know, a lot's gone on tonight, but I can honestly tell you that I am so proud of each one of you because you're here, you're holding our feet to the fire. You're telling us the truth as you see it. And that's what we've asked you to do, us for 8 years, some for 6 years, some for 2 years. And frankly, I love it. That is what I need out of you. Without knowing, this board knowing how you feel, and when it's time for you to change, and by change I'm saying a while back we had a different superintendent, we needed change, we have a new superintendent. But there is a danger in what I heard tonight. A lot of it was negative about this superintendent. And the problem with that is if we listen to you, his evaluation is on tonight's closed session. So you pretty much told us he's no good, get rid of the bum. I know differently. I know his performance in the district differently. Perfect segue. And anyway, I agree with Mr. Montez and everyone that has said things tonight. Please continue holding our feet to the fire. Tell us how you feel. Don't be afraid. I want to make sure that that is gone. All of us want to make sure that is gone. But I also want you to know that we cannot base the emotional response that you gave us tonight about this superintendent on one night's emotion. Tomorrow you would have, buyer's remorse. So I know where we've come from, I know where we're going, and I want to give you a place where you can check up on your school, our community, and that is the California Dashboard, which is caschool-dashboard.org. caschool-dashboard.org. Along with that, there are some apps that are available. I don't know if everyone's using them or not. There is the RUSD app that is available. I personally love all the pictures. It's kind of like the family snapshot thing that only the family likes to see. And you want to see my family? Well, I'll look at my family, please. So I want you to know that this board considers each one of you family. We are here representing your will. You vote us in, you can vote us out. If you only knew what this board's calendar looked like, my dog's forgetting me. And April and May are just that way. And my wife says, how are you doing? What can I do to help? She's wonderful. Run the hot water, take the dog out, give me 5 minutes. That's just the way families are. We all heard you're hurting. We all heard the need. But I want you to know we're also not going to over-respond. So there were suggestions made. Please get us those questions. Amongst yourself, decide, pick three teachers and 3 community members. And then out of that, the board will have to decide whether it's going to be 2 or 3 or 4 or all 6. But it gets unwieldy when we have 50 people making a decision. It's called Washington. So we know recently what's going on. There is one more app that I recently found. It is called Remind. All our schools are on it, and I tried it. I didn't think we were on it. I saw all our schools, and I started getting all these notices, and I'm going, very, very cool. Again, it's the RUSD app, the Remind app, and the Facebook pictures. We wish, and you've heard it, but we wish to partner with you in making Rialto schools great. We've come a long way. You can see that from the California School Dashboard, and that's old information. It's only going to get better. The man that you blame tonight is part of the reason that that is there. So I'm asking you, whatever you need to do with the emotion, talk to us. If that's really, really how you feel, we need to hear it. But I'd be very, very surprised if that was true. It may be the emotion of the moment speaking, because your love for your principal, I get that. That's like my love for each one of the people in this building. They're family, and it hurts when something changes. There are things that Mr. Montez touched on. We can't tell you, but what I can say is that the directions you've given this board previously, the direction the community gave this board, we based all our decisions on previous input. Okay, so it's not like we're playing favorites or anything like that. There were previous decisions the community made and told us, and we said, okay, well, I love Mr. O. I hold him in high regard. But
Did you say the community decided that?
no, the community gave us the decision previous. All 40,000 voters.
40,000? I didn't think Rialto was that big.
Excuse me,
thank
let
you.
me,
Thank you.
can we hold comment from there?
Yeah.
And also, just to respond, board member, if you can just make your comments and not
Okay.
respond to the audience.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
We based our decisions on improvement based on what the community told us in previous years, their expectations. So, let's see, Miss Montez, Lena, thank you so much for all she's doing, all you're doing. She's allowing you to be here. You know,
She's a superstar. I'm just married to her.
you're not doing too bad anymore yourself, brother. So I want to congratulate her. AXA, Leonard Buckner, Armando Ortega, and Dr. Avila will be awarded from San Bernardino County. Refresh my memory.
And Miss Walker.
And Miss Walker, that's right. We have awards coming. Okay, the solar project that you see is now going into phase 3. It's the same stuff that's going up on the James Webb Space Telescope, which is the new version of Hubble that's going up in 2018. I thought they were going to have something newer and greater and fancier, but nope, it's going to be the same stuff that you pretty much have in your home. Lots more on that later. So thank you, everyone, for holding our feet to the fire. The Ike bond fund, the Measure Y money, that's Ike money. Everyone knows that. We've said that. And continue watching, because if I don't see anybody up here saying we're spending it on anybody else. That is spoken for. And President Walker, thank you.
Thank you. So, I just want to start off with just saying accolades to this past week when I went out to Kelly Elementary School, to the school and to Miss Dix and Viola and everybody for the water project. It was so exciting to be there because the young people were so excited about their planters and the dirt and digging and planting their plants, and talking about the project and signing their pledge to commit to conserve water. It was really exciting because it actually gave them a chance to, with their learning, the applied learning. So I learned this in classroom, and I am actually now outside being able to do something that's very practical. And they were so excited about it. But the great thing about what happened that day, too, was at some point after the speeches and all the interviews and everything, there were 2 police officers that were over to the side. And then somebody said, do you want to go and shake the police officer's hand? And all the crowds that were all around the planners and that was all around us immediately turned and said, forget them, and turned and made lines and crowded around the police officers to shake their hands. That is a telling story about them being engaged and wanting and loving their community. Those 2 officers hadn't been introduced, they weren't on the mic or anything, but these kids wanted to go and shake their hands. The police are a part of their community. They recognize that. We are all part of the community. The awards tonight from the Soccer Academy, those gentlemen who've been giving their time for years to work with our students, bring the community an opportunity to come and play soccer on our fields, represent the fact that this district is a part of the community and that our schools are community schools. And if we're really talking about having a safe, healthy environment for our city, our residents, and our students and people that participate and work in our district, it is a holistic vision and a holistic practices and holistic things that we do here. The recognition of the people that have gone to support that soccer project is representation of that. It is a community partnership. We are community schools. That leads us to where we are right now. I am a firm believer that schools are for the community, that parents and community people, as well as schools, school district staff, have an input on what happens in the district. And it's very vital that we have more than one-sided information that happens in the district. And when we talk about, as we've seen tonight, there was one thing that brought so many people to the district and had input on it, because it is our district. It may only be one administrator or one teacher or one student, but we are a part of one district. And we have to make sure that we have input there. For the young people, I'm so glad that you were here to voice your opinion. Where is she still? There she is in the back. Miss Davis, right? Miss Davis, who said, I don't do this or I don't talk, whatever, and then got on the mic and then tried to wreck it, right? So to really understand the young lady from Frisbee, very articulate, love her. I always love her when I see her. But to say how important their school is and their administrator is, and we understand and know, and those of you who work with in education and know, it's about the education, it is about the rigor, but we know so much of it is about relationships. So much of it is about relationships. And while we can talk about failing schools and everything, you can talk about failing schools, but there is always a success product that comes out of even failing, quote unquote, failing schools. Exactly. There is always success out of failure, right? What other people deem failure. So I want to just be able to say that one of the things is that we have to understand that this is a partnership and we have to work together. I would hope that as we go forward in all the decisions that we make, especially ones that impact our schools so greatly, that we have an opportunity for input from everyone. And I don't mean just everyone as in school board, because now, and this is the other piece of it, and thank you, Mr. Montez, and everybody who alluded to us. You know, we only get one side of the story, right? Period, and whatever that means. I'm not saying good, bad, or whatever, because what they say is the his side, your side, and really the truth that nobody, right? But we only get one side of the story. So oftentimes it is that time when you have to come and we have to hear from you all. But it can't be at the end. We want to hear from you all the time. And I want to just say that even on whatever has been going on this last month, this has been the most engaged I have been with my constituents in this district. And not that I haven't been out there, but people have actually come to me. Meaning the beauty about being in a district and living in your district is people see you, right? So I have been stopped on my walks. I have been at Costco trying to cut through Costco to get somewhere, and somebody stopped me. I was in Los Angeles shopping, totally different, and a parent from one of the high schools saw me and said, "That's the lady on the score," and stopped me. I was in the garment district and had her son interpret what she needed to tell me. So just to understand that this is how it is, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. We need to hear from you at all those times. We want to make sure that we encourage you, especially because it's outpouring for the love of Frisbee. I understand. It has been a legacy in our community for so long. And so people don't understand the history of Frisbee. They don't understand the history of the community around Frisbee as well, and how much, regardless, they love that school. And I understand that no matter whatever administrator is, people love the school. We love this district. We've got to work together just to make sure that we are making better decisions across the board to serve our students. And that includes making sure that our schools are parent, student-friendly, voice-friendly, and input-friendly. So we will work as hard as we can moving forward to make sure that we have opportunities to get your input on decisions that we can make, especially in advance, but just along the way as we're going, because there are many things that are going to happen in this next year and a half as we're going through implementation of our strategic plan. That are going to be changes, but we need you to make sure that you input. Don't let just the one person from your school or whatever your group to go and represent everybody else. You have the opportunity to sit in on all of the meetings that we have. They're all public, and to come and give your input. So again, I give you accolades for everybody who came out and spoke on behalf of any issue tonight. And we want to continue to engage you and be available to help you, for you to make sure that you have an opportunity to speak, and then for us to help you in whatever we need to do to make sure this district is a great district for all of our students. Thank you. Next, we're going to consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. Do I have a motion to approve consent calendar items
So moved.
E through J?
So moved.
Second. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have some polls.
Okay.
G2 and G3,
G2, G3.
G6,
Uh-huh.
H14, H17, H18.
Oh, no. 14,
17.
17, and 18?
18.
Okay, is
For
that
H.
H, uh-huh. Got that one. Does anyone else have any other polls?
Not in that section.
Okay, not in this section. Discussion, okay, excellent. Okey-doke. Okay, can we have all in favor of approving the agenda as it stands? Excuse me, the consent calendar?
I make a motion to approve consent calendar items E through J with the exception of G2, G3,
Oh.
G5.
G6.
Hold on.
Oh,
We're-
G6, not G5?
No.
Correct.
Okay.
G-
G6, G2, G3, H14, H17, and H18. Is that correct?
Yep.
All the rest of the items, other than those items, to approve.
Second the
That's my-
motion, as amended.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, let's move through. So can we discuss the first item, which will be G2?
Okay, G2 and G3 kind of go along together. Typically, student organizations raise their own money to pay for their trip expenses. And we're funding these two trips for one of the high schools out of the general fund. Well, I'm all for helping our students however we can with their activities. I also just would like to know that the other high schools are going to be extended the same courtesy if the need arises.
Yes, that's our commitment to the schools. This is covering their transportation costs. If you see the event, we are giving a full commitment that district support to our school of any event, provide the transportation.
Oh, we're providing all the transportation
Yes.
for athletics too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
our
was
commitment.
unaware of that. Okay.
You know, can I just say a thing or two about Carter High School's speech and debate team?
Oh, well, they're
they kick butt
priceless.
every year. Every year. that I can remember.
Yes, they're excellent. Okay, thank you. I wasn't aware we were doing that,
Yes,
so.
we are.
That was
Okay.
what the community requested, and we've
Okay.
moved, so.
Well, I think it's a great idea. That's hard work to try to raise that kind of money. Okay, G6. Are we gonna approve
Okay,
them
so
as we go?
let's approve as, unless there's, yeah, we need to approve
Yeah.
as we go.
I make a
So-
motion to approve G2
And G3, they go together.
and G3.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it's unanimous, unless there was an exception. G6?
Well, I'm just a little confused. I personally have not seen any one of these single plans for student achievement, so I'm kind of wondering how we're supposed to approve them if we've never seen them.
And they are available for review for the board. My understanding in past practice, they have been made available, but not requested for review.
Okay, as long as they're there. Okay.
I have just a question. Review where? I mean, we have to still, I mean, like, is there a book with all the plans? Okay, in your
Yes.
office or whose office?
It would be in Linda Minor's office.
Okay, excellent. Any other questions for G6? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, next to H14.
Well, H14 and H17 go together also,
Okay.
and I have the same concern that was raised earlier. Why are we paying the architect and engineering service based on the total project cost? I think that's,
I'd like to start, excuse me. As you know, the project, CNG project, we have made some modifications and change to bring other opportunity for the grant, as you recall, the electrical, the bus. So that, once you change the scope, any contract, especially the architectural firm, the way they work is like an attorneys. There's a fee based on the total construction cost. So when we start this project, CNG is not standard school district project. It's we're learning as we're doing it.
We are on the curve.
Yes, we're learning. It's a learning experience it's not that too many school district has this kind of project. Again, so as a result, we didn't know the total cost of the project to begin with, number one. Number two, we have added modified change for other opportunity came to during the time we're building the project. So the standard in the industry for any architectural firm engagement, there's a fee based on the construction cost. It's not their job is not done until the project is completed 100%. And Mrs. Chu is also architecture as a license, and she can even further discuss and explain this. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Iris Chu, Director of Facility Planning. I'm glad you explained this situation for the board. It is a standard practice, especially in the public project arena. The state, from the state level, they have established a standard rate schedule with sliding scales. Start with first $1 million will be for new construction with 9%. The second $500,000 will be 8.5%, and so on. It will go down as the project get bigger. So it's standard practice. And for the CNG project, we did apply the standard rate schedule, but it was a little higher in the first $1 million construction because it's a very special project. So we enter into agreement in 2015, and then continue. When we came to the board for amendment number 1, that's when the bid was awarded, so the fee was adjusted according to the awarded cost, a rate applied to the awarded construction cost, plus a modification to the infrastructure from the street to the intake at the electrical gear and transformer increase the size for in anticipation of the electrical bus in the future phases. Therefore, the board approved amendment number 1. Now at the pretty much at very end of the project, we experience changes here and there. Therefore, the total construction cost is different from the bid cost is a little higher. Therefore, applying the rate as established in the agreement, we now bring to the board another adjustment to the fee.
Well, not to be disrespectful, but if it is standard practice for them to charge based on the total cost of the project, isn't it to their advantage to make that project as expensive as possible?
Yes, but we review the project. We do not go excessive. We have our own budget, not only for CNG station, fueling station, but also for Measure 1 project. We have our own budget. We gave them this budget. And so they design to the scopes, scale, and limitation that we established, the program we established. So there is a conscious decision and the limitation to the scope and the budget level that architect can play with, and they provide us cost estimate at different phases during the design. Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Oh,
comment?
yes, Mr. Montez?
It's my understanding that the electrical bus charging stations came after the original approvals for the certified natural gas construction and project building. So is this added cost because of the newer changes with the electrical charging bus stations? Is this part of that outcome?
Yes, it's part of this, and also, as you heard, the industry standard. Again, we work through our total allocated fund for the project, but certain things is unavoidable, meaning other agency involved in this project, gas company, Southern California Edison Company, we have to comply their requirement to the project. So it's not that we are standalone, we can ignore their compliances as well. So there's a lot of other compliance came into added to the scope that call for modifications and further redesigning and rework need to be done by the firm. So it is not up to them to say, I want to add more fees to the project. We go through the review process and to ensure it's justified, and again, the fees are a standard schedule fee. If as costs driving high, we have to go back and adjust the fee.
And I completely understand any added changes. The only thing I think that might concern us here on the board is that if any of these extra charges or changes could have been included from the get-go, as far as checking with the state, with the city, with all of the different agencies that come into play before any construction is done or any architectural projects are completed. That way, we're not having to catch up or include things as we go. You know, it should be all set out and done before, or at least as much as possible. Now, the charging station, the electrical charging bus station changes and all of the expenses that come out of that. And I think this board is in complete, obviously we've approved it and no one disagrees that the electrical bus charging stations is a good thing. But it's not something that was originally included. That's understandable. So the architectural fees and everything else extra that's gonna come with that, that's understandable. But if anything has to do with the architect or the project having to comply with this or comply with that or correct this or correct that, it's preferable that all of that is done and approved,
Right.
you know, and before we're at the start. That's all the
President
thing I
Walker.
wanted to say.
But may I,
Oh.
Mr. Walker, may I
Yes.
respond to
Just-
Mr.
uh-huh.
Monte's concern? Some of the things that are going on you in the constructions is unforeseen, unpredictable. You cannot assume is there unless you begin that project and you dig into the process. And so it is pretty standard, any construction project, you expected some level of changes throughout the project because of the things don't know in the beginning. You're right. If we knew the total cost of the project, we bring it to you, this is the total fee, we're done. There's no further discussions or approval is needed. But the nature of the business and the construction industry doesn't play that way because of, that's why the rules and regulations applies when it comes to change order, when it comes to the modifications and change and costs. So we follow those guidelines, and we're very, very carefully monitoring because this is our money, Rialto USD money. We're not trying to, people come take our resource and make their profit. So we are very closely monitoring every step in the process. I can give you the confidence that we are very, your concern is the same as our concern. We want to make sure every dollar remain in the Rialto and our project in our districts.
Thank you.
But there's a limit on
Mr.
how much.
Ms. O'Kelly, just a moment.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say there's a percentage limit of how much their change orders can
You're correct.
come to.
You're
Okay.
correct.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Al.
I just want to share with you and the viewing audience that I'm very excited for Rialto for being proactive with this project. You know, I think we're very, very fortunate because the neighboring school districts have not qualified for this project. And, you know, historically, we were proactive and we got a grant from the federal government because we had a shovel-ready project. So I can remember building my house. My wife says, "Why are we putting granite on these counters?" Because she doesn't, well, I'm not gonna go into that, but I like to cook, okay? And I said, "You'll know if we ever sell this house why we put the granite on here. It's a little more expensive, but we're gonna do it." Now it seems like everybody does it. But nevertheless, it is a tough pill to swallow sometimes when somebody says there's a surcharge or it's gonna cost you a little more. I do understand that it's industry standard, that there's a percentage
Right.
of the total project. And I understand our board member O'Kelly saying, but these change orders, you know, that we got blindsided and all of a sudden someone else benefits. So I guess my question is, okay, how much longer will these changes affect our break-even point? Because after we break even, our kids and our community is gonna benefit with this
Right.
project again. So we were looking at, and I don't wanna put you on the spot, but it was like 3 years, 4 years to break even?
Break even's what?
At the beginning of the project, I believe we had this analysis about 5-7 years.
Oh, 5-7? Okay.
But since now we are bringing in the electrical buses,
Yes,
so the calculation get a little more complicated.
okay, okay.
And we realize the savings day one. From the day one is for our internal use. This station is public stations.
Yes.
So we going to revenue generate locally from the sale of this using this public service, and it's ongoing. It's not, it's going to be continued. So it's as you were asking, Mr. Ayala, is break even. Initially we did, if I remember, it was a 3 years break even point. And I know, board, you ask, total cost, because it's not all our money, it's a grant plus district fund. It's a combinations of
Right.
the funding.
So if somebody asked me, what's our break even, what would I tell them?
I think we should bring back to you after
Yes.
we have
Okay.
a little
I-
No,
further
that's fair.
study.
Because of the electrical project, now it's increased our cost, I like to bring that, and I would love to give you that response
But
in
see, we're
writing.
doing the same thing with the
Yes.
solar.
Yes.
We're being proactive.
Yes.
It's an upfront cost. We're gonna have change orders, but down the road, we're gonna own it. just like that tower that somebody wanted to buy from us, I think we still own that too. So when you have assets and you don't give them away,
Oh.
and you don't give them away, those are resources, those are assets. So I'm very proud of us for, biting the bullet and hanging in there with the projects, and I do understand the nickel dime thing hurts, but I think in the long run, we'll look back, we'll forget about this, and we'll be proud of what we did. Thank you.
Okay.
Don't take
Are
away our cell phone tower.
Is there any other discussion around, was that H14 or 17? Okay.
Just a quick comment.
Yes, comment from Mr. Martinez.
For the public, it looks like a lot of money, but the break-even point that's being talked about, we're starting to set up accounts now, at least for the CNG, that when that is completed and it's open to the public, we will actually start making income. So we had to set it up an account. You'll see that later on tonight. And the same with the electrical. That will benefit us, because if we waited a year, we see that the interest rates in borrowing money are going to go up. We see the cost of materials are going to go up. You want things bought and purchased, made in America, the cost is going to go way up. So thank you for the vision, and thank this board for saying yes to moving forward, because our kids are going to appreciate it when we'll be able to continue these sending them on these field trips, and it will cost us much less.
Right, that's true.
Okay,
Thank
do I-
you.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve items?
So-
Oh, do you have?
We'll go with it. Go on.
To approve items 14 and 17?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Jinx.
Okay, any opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously. Now we'll go to H18.
Okay,
Ms.
this
O'Kelly?
is, I brought this up before, and I'm very pleased that we're upgrading things at Rialto High School. They've got a great girls softball team. But I also know the condition of the softball field at Eisenhower, and I'm wondering if any attention has been paid to that yet. I've brought this up before.
Yes, Dr. Avila and I had a conversation. He gave us to move forward with that also as well. So
Oh, awesome.
We are.
Okay.
We're already moving forward.
Will they get bathrooms?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
So again, that
Right now it's porta potties, if they're lucky.
and the process, as you know, we have to go to the DS approval because it's so
Right.
we already started.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve item 18?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Third.
Unanimous. Okay, and so we've approved all the other items. We're now on discussion action items. Number 1, do I have a motion for item number 1, approve the listed new courses that will be utilized by all high schools in the district beginning the 2017-2018 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes, let's try to be sensitive now, just to make sure, it might be too late, but, sometimes teachers need time to qualify themselves for these new classes, so let's give them enough time to make sure that for the time that they need to get qualified, just,
And
I'm making that public.
It isn't just the science classes. There's a whole
Right.
bunch
But
of
I might also ask that we look into the cost of testing, as was mentioned.
Yes, I agree with that.
I know
Okay.
that some of my tests are only $150, but there could be 10 or 20 of them.
And that is being considered. We're also offering support classes to prepare for the actual exam. And personnel and business, we are discussing the cost of the exams.
Thank you, Dr.
I just wanted to mention that I believe I'm not the only board member that received some emails and some phone calls in regards to the changes, particularly to the science classes and and science departments. I think the teachers raise a valid point when they ask us to please involve them, or at least get some kind of feedback, before these types of changes are considered and made. I think, it's only right that at least they're consulted, since it's going to be affecting, or they feel it's going to be affecting them enough for them to want to be consulted with and spoken to beforehand, as opposed to, we've decided for you and this is what you're going to do now. And we're not blaming anybody, and I don't think they're blaming anyone, but one of the good points that they raised was, hey, we would like to at least be able to get feedback, since they're the ones that are going to be doing the work.
Ms. O'Kelly?
It's not quite so much that we decided for them. The new science courses are based on the state standards for science, so we're trying to be in compliance with state
Right, no,
standards.
and I get it, and I'm sure they get it. It's just, they could have still been reached out to, during the process. And I think all they're asking for is to be considered and included.
We could let them know that
moving
even though
forward.
these mandates are coming down from the state, rest assured, we're gonna do everything we can to give you enough time to requalify if you need to, and, our hands are tied
And
because.
get their feedback.
Yeah.
I think there
Feedback.
were some teachers involved, and I might add that I know 2 of the high schools are extremely excited about them. So
Okay, that's good.
And
Is-
I just had the question, is this time sensitive to where we have to pass this tonight, or can it hold off and possibly we meet with those, I think there's 6 or 8 teachers that contacted me at least, and probably the rest of you, with their concerns, and is there time to listen to them, or is this time sensitive to pass tonight?
So,
John.
no, I was just going to say, so those were some of the questions that I had already, and they were answered, but who's here to actually talk about really if we could even hold off or even voting on it tonight?
So I'll make one comment, and then Beth Curtis is also here, but
Okay.
the courses that you're expressing a concern about with the science are not a part of this current board item.
Okay.
So
That's
as far as the
answers it.
time sensitivity, that's something I'll let Beth speak about, but know that these are courses that they're looking at approving for next year.
Okay. Next year.
Good evening, Board. Beth Curtis, Academic Agent, Liberal Arts Literacy and Intervention. Yes, John is correct. None of the science courses that you're concerned about regarding changes and new credentialing and new testing and all of those requirements are on this packet.
we've already
Those will be
approved them,
coming
actually.
in the next couple of months.
Comforting.
Yeah, but it's still, we still want to make sure we get, the teachers' input, particularly with the science concerns that were brought to us, from before.
We'll try to learn to slow down enough to.
Yeah,
to do
even if
this.
this item here is not directly, I believe you guys also were contacted. You guys spoke with some of the teachers, and
Yes,
you
and
guys
I-
met with some of the people.
And remember that,
And Mrs. Lindbergh even spoke tonight and said, hey, we understand, but if you guys can provide some other funding for the testing, so we can move on and move forward. So it's I don't think anyone was making a big issue about tonight's item, but I did just want to mention that because I didn't get an opportunity to say it at the last board meeting. People were concerned that, hey, they're the ones that are going to be teaching the classes. They're the ones that have the expertise in teaching science. They should at least be, given an opportunity to get feedback.
Dr. Avila, and if you can also talk to, and whether it be yourself or Ms. Curtis, talk to us just briefly about the inclusion or the creation of the curriculum team that actually comes. So how inclusive is the curriculum team in reaching out to the people, the other teachers, to have their input from the beginning to make sure that the curriculum and they know what's going on. So how what that process was or anything?
I can't talk specifically about the science piece. I do know that in a recent meeting that I attended, there was an explanation from both Eva Serrato and Ed about several meetings with science teachers and bringing them in and helping them be a part of it. It also always, with any course, it goes through curriculum committee to begin with, and curriculum committee reviews those courses, and that committee is made up of representatives from every school at the different levels. It then goes to curriculum council, where again, it is reviewed carefully by, again, stakeholders from all the different schools before it ever lands on a board agenda.
Thank you.
Did you have any other comments, Dr. Avila?
Just that I do know that Dr. D'Souza has a scheduled meeting with those teachers who have expressed concerns
Okay.
Thank you.
to make sure that their voice is included in moving forward.
Excellent. Is there any other discussion for our item number 1? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Vote passes unanimously. Item number 2, may I have a motion to approve the recommendation from, why did I start this? Approve the recommendation from the curriculum committee to remove health as a high school graduation requirement beginning the 2017-2018 school year, 9th graders class of 2021, while it will be phased out with 10th, 11th, and 12th graders in the year 2020, and that the required parts of the health curriculum be taught by a health credentialed teacher as one of the rotations in physical education 9th grade class. Do I have a motion?
I just have to ask, did you get a first and second for that last item?
The first one.
Okay.
Yes. The f- Can I-
Discussion?
no, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, good discussion. Yes.
Discussion?
Uh-huh.
You know, health is important. I know we have a lot on the plate, so I understand that, you know, we're moving forward by giving us an opportunity by teaching health education at the 9th grade level. However, it should still be reinforced somehow in the other levels, maybe not specifically, but it still should be an issue that you don't want to forget, because health is very, very important. You've seen how these kids were in the past, their eating habits, and we had to take away some of the vending machines and kind of guide them towards their high school years to a healthier path. So, you know, that is concerning.
To be honest, Joe, the health classes at high school level deal more with sex, drugs, and pregnancy and preventing
Okay,
pregnancy and
okay.
STDs and that kind of stuff.
I know, I have a lot of grandkids, and, you know, we're constantly trying to train them to do the right things, be responsible, and it's not easy when their tummies, they're hungry and they just want something quick. And so, that's what I'm referring to. And I know health is a big category there, but I just wanted to bring it up, that let's not forget that we have an obligation to these kids in our community to make sure that they're healthy and that we're communicating to them. We don't want our parents later to say, why didn't somebody do this in school? Well, our hands are tied because we have a lot of other things on the plate, but we still need to take care of our children, and we need to find ways to continue to communicate these lessons that us who are more mature have already learned.
Any other
Just a quick
discussion? Okay.
comment.
Yes, Mr. Martinez.
Health is no longer mandated, I believe it
With
is
the
what
state
it says
graduation.
in the backup. And I know that the county has offered to teach all of that. Dr. Avila and I attended something when you first got here. And the county was willing to come out and teach classes. And huge binder in my collection of binders.
And you know, I can remember we would have assemblies, maybe on drugs or something like that, maybe once or twice a year. Maybe you could, even though we're phasing this out, but maybe we could have an assembly once or twice a year to remind kids what good habits are and what the do's and don'ts in eating. Just to remind them, because when they see, you know, the media and they see, you know, it makes them think. And so let's not completely forget that this is not important. So
Right.
Any other discussion? Okay.
now I can sleep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No abstentions? Unanimous. Do I have a motion to approve the establishment of a deferred maintenance fund, Fund 14, effective July 1st, 2017?
So
I'll make that
moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion? No discussion? Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Just thank you, I'm glad we're able to do it again.
Do I have a motion? May I have a motion to approve the establishment of a cafeteria special revenue fund, Fund 13, to comply with the GASB 68, and therefore close the cafeteria enterprise fund, Fund 61, effective July 1st, 2017. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Yes, Mr. Montez.
Who chose the number Fund 13?
Is a state assigned those numbers? The fund number is the state assigned.
Oh, okay. You guys didn't get to pick it?
No, because that's the way how we report to the state our program.
Is there any other
I know what
discussion,
you're
Mr.
thinking
Montez?
No, I actually like the number. Yeah, I actually like the
I'm
number.
telling you, that's how we roll.
He's representing.
Oh, what time is it?
No,
Right,
it's-
right, it's
no,
getting
just a
late.
question.
It definitely
It's just a
is.
question.
That's it? And is any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No abstentions? Vote passes unanimously. Do I have a motion to approve the establishment of the Nutrition Services Revolving Cash Fund, Fund 13, bank account to the custody of district bank accounts effective July 1st, 2017? I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Where is their revolving cash fund now,
Now.
if it's not here?
It's approving the
Not with
establishment.
district bank accounts. It says, we're establishing. We
Establishing.
don't have one yet.
That's correct.
Oh, okay. All right.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Excellent. Next, number 6, to approve the establishment of the other enterprise fund, Fund 68, effective July
63.
63. Yeah,
What,
it's like-
what fund is that? It's
Fund-
the other.
It's from
It's
the
the other.
Starship
Right.
Enterprise.
The other enterprise fund, Fund 63, effective July 1st, 2017. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
It's getting late.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Excellent.
We're getting
Number
big
7,
now.
approve the establishment of the compressed natural gas, CNG, clearing bank account for the operation of the Rialto Unified School District compressed natural gas, CNG, public fueling station to the custody of the district bank accounts effective July 1st, 2017. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm
Aye.
sorry, was there any discussion? No,
Just,
oh,
that's what I
excellent.
was referring to earlier about compressed natural gas. Had to establish a fund because there's gonna be income.
All right. Okay, so we had all in favor and there were any opposed?
No.
No abstentions? Okay. Number 8, adopt resolution number 16-17-29 authorizing temporary interfund borrowing between all funds and accounts with the exception of Fund 21, building fund of the fiscal year 2017-2018. Do I have a motion?
Question.
Have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Montez.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Mohammed Islam. Fund 21, the bond fund?
Yes.
Okay. So then, there was a concern brought forth by a member of the community regarding making sure that this item did not include the bond fund, and I believe number 21 was assigned for the bond fund, so.
You're correct.
If it's, I believe there was a request for it to specifically state that this was not gonna be,
It does.
and I believe the number 21
Okay.
assigns
Is the bond.
Okay.
that
but
specific fund.
I have a comment here.
Well,
Mr.
Okay.
Montez, may I, it is in the body of the resolutions, it's spelled
Right.
out that,
Right. Right, but there was a request to have it on the item, you know,
yeah,
as an action item.
again, it is in the body of the resolutions and on the agenda. It's clearly spelling, showing that Fund 21, we're not using Fund 20, except Fund 21.
Yeah, here it says, with the
Yes.
exception of Fund 21.
Yes, there's exceptions.
So, I mean, it doesn't include the borrowing of money from that fund.
Right.
Hold, Mr. Ayala, then Ms. O'Kelly.
Okay, if I have a freezer at home and it goes out and I got $1,000 worth of meat in there, I'm gonna rob from Peter to pay Paul to make sure that that freezer is working. Okay, now, we've been in dire straits here before where, you know, it was tough. We had the pink slip, 130 staff members, okay? I hope we don't etch this in stone. I know that the fund is depleting. We've had to borrow before. We're okay right now, but in an emergency situation, instead of giving pink slips to everybody, let's think about where we've been, and we don't want to go there anymore. And if we have to, if there's any way possible that we can keep people working, we need to remember that those tough lessons, those tough pills that we had to swallow before, we don't want to go there again. So let's not work ourselves into a corner that we can't come out of it.
I believe the concern specifically was Measure Y, and in the body,
Right.
there is no Measure Y mentioned in the body of the item.
Right.
We
because-
know, we know as a board that's what it is,
Yes.
but, I believe the member of the community requested that this not include Measure Y bond
That's correct.
funds. But-
Right.
But you just made a statement that it's in the verbiage, and it's not in the verbiage.
Wait,
It is right. It says with the
fu-
exception of
Fund
Fund
21,
Yeah, but it doesn't state Measure Y
But the
there
public
or in
doesn't
the back.
know what
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And my point is, it's always been referred to as bond money or Measure Y money. Why are we now calling it building fund?
Well,
Because
making it-
that kind of sounds like with interfund borrowing, we borrow from the building fund. We're really borrowing Measure Y bond money. And with all due respect to Mr. Ayala, I will die on the vine before we are borrowing any Measure Y
we don't
bond
need you
money.
to die on the vine, but we need to keep people alive.
But this doesn't just include Measure Y, it's other bonds too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it needs to exclude, she just wants to make sure it excludes
The-
explicitly.
Again, the fund number, the title is a state sign number. So Measure Y is a local bond,
For us, right.
For us. So the fund is really is.
A building fund makes it sound like it could be used for any building
No,
we're doing in the
and
district.
This Measure Y money is the only money we have for the 121 building fund.
Okay.
There's no other building fund exists
Thank
at
you.
present
That's what
time.
I wanted to know.
Yes.
So
Question.
this item is excluding that.
Yes.
Got it.
Mr. Ayala, and then Mr. Martinez.
And can I direct this
Yes.
to Mohammed?
Mhm.
Okay, Mohammed, in a situation, can districts borrow from like Measure Y to save staff from being let go? An
No.
emergency?
No.
We can.
So
We
we
can.
can't. We can't
can't.
even use it. It
No.
it is earmarked specifically for.
Remember,
so-
the
so then
voters.
to
the
fight
vote-
that, I can't
The
fight it.
voters who approved it for specific projects to be done.
Gotcha.
That's what it's going to be used
Gotcha.
for.
We
So
cannot
that
use-
way at
May
least.
have
Right.
done, it may have been done in the past, but it won't be done now.
So that, you know, if there's staff down the road, you know, they'll say, hey, use Measure Y. We can't.
No, we can't.
We can't. Okay, so I get it. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other discussion?
I just want to propose an amendment, Fund 21, Measure Y, so it's clear to the public.
And your proposed amendment will be?
Yeah, simple
I
amendment,
second that.
Fund 21, Measure Y.
We could add Measure Y as
Yeah,
a
just-
parentheses to make it more clear for the
Just in the
public.
text.
Right.
Because for county and the state, they recognize a
they know
building
what-
fund as a fund.
Exactly, what the public.
Yeah,
doesn't.
we could do that.
But the
Put in
people who voted
parentheses.
for Measure
Yes.
Y won't see that.
Yes, we can add that.
Yeah,
Everyone's happy.
okay. You're done.
Okay, excellent, thank you. So, all in favor?
Aye.
That was
Aye.
on the
Aye.
amendment.
So this is, before we do that then, is it required that this action item be amended to say Measure Y? Or because the supplemental documents come with that, and you're just changing the supplemental documents, is that sufficient? Does a summary on number 8 have to be approved with an amendment to say Measure Y? That's the-
Rosie
that's
can
what's
put
on
it in
that.
the minutes
Yeah.
that it was
Yes.
amended.
Yeah,
Right.
we
Right.
just approved to amend this item as amended, now we have to approve to whether or not approve it.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yes.
we have to do both.
Yes,
Okay. So everybody voted to amend.
correct.
Thank you. And then now can we approve number 8 as amended to include the specific verbiage of the Measure Y as Fund
So
21?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we'll move to number 9. Approve a memorandum of understanding between the district and the city of Rialto to reimburse the district 50% of the total annual estimated cost for crossing guard services for 19 district employees, elementary schools, effective July 1st, 2017. Until such time, both parties mutually agree to terminate this memorandum of understanding upon 30 days written notice. Do I have a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Discussion.
Yes, Mr. Martinez.
I'm wondering if there's anything in their job description, or if we could add something for fitness for duty for pre-hiring, and maybe annual testing or something, because I've gotten some concerned citizens saying that, well, some of our people probably couldn't move out of a car's way if they needed to. I feel for them, I really do. But if they're supposed to keep the crossing area safe, that's for themselves as well. And I would hope that the crossing guards could move a student out of the way if necessary. But some just don't have the mobility.
Well, I think we definitely, this crossing guard is our employee, and we can do a better job, the screening during the hiring process.
Just
Make
a
sure
concern.
They're physically fit for the job they're doing for 3 hours every day, and I think your concerns is valid concern, and we'll work on it.
So, any other comment?
Just I'd want it in the job description, in the hiring documents.
So, and I just want to comment to make sure that we are very clear that we don't
Discriminate.
especially on ageism. So whatever those things are, it's
disability.
regular or disability, but specifically make sure that we're not doing that.
We want them to be safe.
Yes, but yes. Ms. Rhonda?
Okay.
So as long as they can run a quarter mile and
Jump out of the way of a car. That's what my concern.
Okay, is there any other discussion on this item? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Excellent. Number 10, to accept the invitation for the Board of Education to attend a joint meeting between Rialto Unified School District and the San Bernardino Community College District on Monday, April 24th, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. to discuss the San Bernardino County Cradle to Career Initiative and related collaborative opportunities. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Need a second?
second.
Okay. Discussion?
Well, I don't really understand why something like this is an agenda item. Why didn't we just receive an invitation? I mean, am I supposed to approve it if I'm not going to be able to make it? Except it's reworded, accept the invitation. I think that's rather.
Dr. Avila?
It was requested that the item be agendized, and once it's requested, we need to take action on it.
It seems a little strange.
Any member of the community can
Has a
request
right to.
an item to be added to the agenda.
Well,
As long as one of us attends.
So, and just my comment is that make sure that one of us attends. I was there, but because all of the other districts across the district have had more than one board member. So the last time we were there, I think I was the only board member, but everybody else brought anywhere from half of their board to more than half of their board, including their superintendent. So, yeah,
I
So-
wanted
do
to,
they
I wanted to
hold
be.
these?
I know.
wanted to
I
be
remember
there,
it was a
but
communication.
somebody else was on the list.
Right. So I'm just saying, we're formally accepting now. We need to show up. So, any other discussion on item number 10? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Yeah. Excellent. Number 11, approve the recommendations of the administrative hearing panel. Reinstatement of expulsion, case number 16-17-19. Motion to approve.
so moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Excellent. in. Now we're at adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So move.
Second.
Woo.
10:05.
All in favor? There's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. No abstentions. The time is now 10:05.
10:06.
10:06.